You're listening to Kate of Gaia on Critical Mass Radio. The game is up. Now, it's our turn.
Good evening. Welcome Outside the Box. It is going to be an awesome show tonight. I already know this. Pretty excited. Guys, we got Max's attention. And we finds out what we're doing. And I got to tell you, I'll get into that in a sec, but thanks for tuning to Outside the Box. This is Kate of Gaia, mouthiest tranny on the web, guaranteed to get your attention any way I can. And for all the right reasons. That's how important you are to get your attention. That's the point. That's the intent. Anyway, and I'm hoping that a lot of people that are at the table all the time, and we do have many tens of thousands here, full board every night, pretty much. If you consider one or two dropping off here and there out of the 50, that's a full board. We can get most times. Well, that's all we can get. But anyway, listen, thanks for tuning in criticalmassradio.co.uk. The magnanimous and absolutely brilliant Max Igan will be here. I'm so happy because I got to tell you, now you guys know I've been doing a lot of calling out just to get people's goats, right? You know what we're talking about when say about getting the goats, right? Getting someone's attention units, if you will. You'd have to listen to probably quite a few shows to really catch up on the concepts, but that's okay. The point of the game is this: we have the game. It's that simple. It is crashing worldwide in so many areas. I'm watching Babylon Has Fallen. Went out in Filipino on YouTube today. I don't know how many languages we're up to now, but you guys that are doing all the translating, go team. I don't think we have French yet, and that's kind of funny because here I am in Canada and it's bilingual. Bizarre. But anyway, if anyone wants to do the French, my French isn't good enough to do it. I have passable French, but to try to get a concept across, I would probably be better off trying to write in Swahili. Anyway, where was I wanting to go here? Yeah, the point of the game is this. Lose the name, win the game. I went into great detail about the simplicity of it last night, and that is the irony of this whole thing. It is the simplicity. And while so many of us, self included, for a very long time, were attacking this from a physical position only, a lot of stuff that, in terms of concepts that were there, couldn't be seen because of that, because you get fixated in a literal physical matrix. You know, think of Newton. A body in motion tends to stay in motion. You know, the physical laws and stuff. And these are the things that have ruled our minds for so very long, and we haven't been able to get outside the box. Where the simplicity of it is this is it. Lose the name, win the game. And we've had nothing but victory here. I got to tell you guys, I think we had 3 or 4 different scenarios last night. We're able to, well, this is kind of funny because I'm speechless right now. I am really excited, just the fact that Max is going to be here. Anyway, and we'll get into it. I'm going to bring Max in with me when he's ready. I'm just going to check Skype because I've seen one pop up. Anyway, when Max is ready, I'll bring him in with me. And the good news about that is I can't mute you. So, again, this is an all wide open table. But what I'm going to ask people to do while we're at the start of the show here, I'm going to go through the latest outcome with the Wayne and White Tiger thing that's going on in the UK that's taken down the school system from the inside and having cops talk about it. I'm just going to read the latest. I've got, I think for Max's benefit, I'll catch him up to speed on what's been going on. It's been quite a story. And here's a little 7-year-old, can't call her 8, she's not 8 yet, a little 7-year-old Gemini tiger that knows who she is. And I've known Wayne, her dad, for quite a while. And I know Wayne's been through the mill in terms of his own crucifixion, standing in truth, and what have you. And nothing can break him anyway. But to see it reflected in his daughter and what's been going on of late, it is literally a play-by-play of the shields going up and the system coming down. And you got to get really big in your thinking on this. Stop thinking local, start thinking universal. Just waiting for the synopsis to load up here. Okay, the beginning, I don't have the first excerpt, but how this began was White challenged her teacher in terms of why did we come to school when, everything I need to know I can Google, right? And she's right. That's the thing. Really, Google made every teacher's job obsolete, quite frankly. Well, see, that's a problem with the system, though. You can't control slaves. You can't condition beautiful young minds into automatic robots with military roll call every morning, getting them used to the 9-to-5 stretch, where instead of just being a slave all day and playing at some points, you get to go to work and be the same slave, just transplanted into a different, what is it, gulag, Stalag 13, if you will. But anyway, as it turns out, the teacher was a little miffed, and White challenged to say, well, how tough could it be to teach? And the teacher offered up well, I'm going to let you teach next week, thinking that this would, ego this little girl down. Not a chance. She said, okay. And we had a couple of posts regarding what she wanted to do, and very profound stuff in terms of listening to classical music and whatnot at low levels, and finding out what the kids want to learn and going outside. And I don't want to mess it up. I'm going to find the excerpt, and I will read it at some point. I have read it already, but very profound stuff, if you recall. And the answer to this rebellion from this 7-year-old was, okay, well, telling her to teach for a week didn't scare her, so let's expel her for 2, because she wouldn't answer to her name. And because she knows who she is. So lo and behold, the following Friday, this would be Friday past, White's classmates, now remember, White's expelled at this point, White's classmates refused to answer to their names, which puts the system, remember, this is anagogic. These things are happening at an exponential level now, so that what you might deem to be little effects or little causes are actually huge, and you're starting to see the layers of the system and power just getting stripped away here. So what happened then was, of course, the teacher panics, and the head mistress decides she's going to have a meeting on the following Monday. So here's what we got. Or actually, the weekend before that, White was on her way to a birthday party. She was supposed to get picked up by her mom, and lo and behold, was a little bit late. That's Wayne's ex, to pick her up, and on her way to the party, she ended up getting pulled over for speeding. And what happened? This is my new favorite line. I mean, guys, if a 7-year-old can do it, why can't you? I ran off 3 OPP. No, you know me. I got no ID. High mark in the system. Profile. Expired plates, just to make sure they know from now on who this is. And they're dead. Dead relatives. Remember, P becomes Ro into the R. I'm not related to the dead thing. No VINs in the car, no ID, nothing. And that I did live on the air March 14th for everyone's benefit if you want to hear that. Starts around, I think around a 24-minute. You might want to start at 20 minutes and go from there. I know the audio is a bit weak as far as what the Goonies were saying, but you get a pretty good idea. Bottom line is, one marked car up first and batted that one down. And, of course, 2 more guys. That was a lady. 2 more guys show up in an unmarked. And they were playing try to get you into jurisdiction, dead by consent, mark of the beast, Narmer palette curse attachment, so the werewolves and the vampires can feed on me. Not a chance. Sorry, I'm not in your world. Anyway, so White's mom gets pulled over, and White obviously must have asked for identification, and White leans over and says, "No names here, mate." To which the cop replied, "Excuse me?" And she, using her most literal Phoenician, because she understands this, she says, "Yes, you're excused. No names here, mate." To which the cop closed up his Narmer palette book and walked away. That's the power of a child and the power of intent and the magic of the shields that go up when you stand in truth. This is very real stuff, boys and girls. To explain it to you, well, see, until you experience it, You're still in Pisces of, well, I'm not sure I believe that. Well, here's the difference. I'm in Aquarius. I know it. And those that are now in Aquarius because they've stopped believing this or believing that and taking things subjectively, they're being objective now, and that's what makes an Aquarian. So let's continue the story here in Wayne's words. Of course, Mom was a bit shaken up and it called Wayne to set up a little chit-chat after she dropped White off. So here was where we pick up the story. And this is only the last week and a half, 2 weeks, guys. Right up to today, we're going to read what happened. Wayne got word from one of White's friend's dads that was at the meeting that he wasn't allowed to be in. So here we go. All good with White's mom. She just got a bit frightened of what she saw her little girl do. We had a good old talk, and she's starting to get it. She said if she didn't see it for herself, she wouldn't have believed it, what White did today. She phoned me and said that she's been up all night reading all your stuff, referring to my website. And now she is getting it and was crying, saying, now I know I've got to stand, not just for my kids, but for all of the children, because what kind of mom would I be if I don't stand knowing what I know now? So she's got it. It's all good. So big thanks to you, Kat. Thank you. Again, everything on the website, I can call it my website, it's yours, is yours. If you understand the concepts, who can make a claim on the words? If you would say it the same way, aren't they your words? So how the hell can they be mine? So carrying on here. This is regarding after the Friday when the kids refused to answer to their names. This is on the Monday. So I got to the school and they all had gone into the meeting. So when we tried to go in, they wouldn't let us. So the headmistress came out and said, I did not ask you to come to this meeting. So I said, if you're having a meeting about the kids and if you're going to be talking about my child, I'm going to be there. So she said, you're making a scene. If you don't go, I will phone the police. And this is Wayne talking. So I said, I'll phone for you, if you want. So she phoned the police, and about 10 minutes later, they turn up, and just a coincidence, it was a policeman that pulled over White's mom. See? Magic, kingdom. And he's only a sergeant. And the look on his face was like, oh, shit. So a long story short, the sergeant said to the headmistress, are you going to be talking about his daughter? And the headmistress said, no, it's about the other children, not his child. So I said, this is about the kids not answering to the name. So yes, you will be talking about her. So the sergeant, that's what Wayne said to the headmistress. Again, I'll say that just to make that clear. Wayne says, so I said this this is about the kids not answering to the name. So yes, you will be talking about her. So the sergeant said to the head, right, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to leave an officer here, talking to the headmistress, remember, and if you refer to his daughter in any way, my officer will be under orders to arrest you. Then the headmistress said to him, you can't do that. So he said, well, you go and say his daughter's name in your meeting, and you will see what I can do. Now go and have your meeting because the kids are looking out of the windows, and now you're making a scene. So she went into the meeting, and she was not happy. Go figure. And a police officer went in with her. Then the sergeant said, can I give you a ride home? I said, no, thanks, we're good. And he said to me, you do, now pay close attention here. This is these are the most subtle, absolute perfect clues to the game. When you understand this, you put the shields up immediately. Anyway, so he said to me, you do know that if the kids do not answer to the name, then they have to be sent. They have to send the child home, because then they have no rights to keep the children in the school without the name. Then he looked at White, gave her a smile, and got in his car, went home. And one of White's dad's friends phoned me and asked me what was going on. So he was in the meeting at this time, remember this. So I told him. So he went up to the officer that was in the meeting and said to him, are you going to arrest her if she says White's name? And he said, yes, I will. So just waiting to see what got said in the meeting. I'll let you know as soon as I do. And the saga of the White Tiger continues. And here is, now listen very closely, guys, because we've been talking about this for a very long time, and we figured it out on the spiritual side. Everyone's still fighting on the physical, and we got past that, and we proved everything, how it was attached spiritually and anagogically, if you will, the mystical attachments. Excuse me. So here's the outcome. White's friend's dad just called in on his way to work and told me what got said in the meeting. He said the headmistress would not say White's name, and he tried to get her to say it, but he tried to get her to say it, but she would not say it. She was just saying that the kids were just trying to get sent home from school, like they knew this, and we need them to answer their name so we know that they are here. Have a look around the room, and do you not know the kids in your class by now? Ooh, that's scary. And no one was, to make sure that no one was taking them away. Of course, the system loves to go right to fear porn. And, of course, they'll appeal to your lack of comfort ego as well. And if we have to send them home for a week or two, you will just have to take the time off work to look after them. More fear porn. So he said to her, there is more to this, and we will be looking into it. And why can't you say White's name? So she said it's just a legal thing. BS beside that, absolutely, Wayne. This is a spoilt adult child. Now, I never want to offend children because it was the adults that corrupted them, and that's why they sit in the cereal aisle screaming for the box of cereal with a decoder ring. So if I ever use that reference, and this is for you, Mary, just make that clear. The children in that attitude have been corrupted by the adults, not the other way around. A child acts like a child because it's mirroring the greed of its parent. Very simple. That's a tough one for people to swallow, though. No one wants to take responsibility for that. Anyway, and if we have to send them home for a week or two, you'll just have to take the time off work to look after them. Fear porn. So he said to her, there's more to this, and we're looking into it. And why can't you say White's name? So she said it's just a legal thing, a.k.a. I'll get my ass arrested if I do. And so he said to the officer, who he knows. Now, this guy knows this officer very well because he lives on a street. Okay, where was it? Something about why she's saying White's name. Wayne, slow down when you're typing. Anyway, so the officer says this to him. All I know is that it is illegal to pay attention. That it is illegal to try and get someone to answer to a name. That's what judges included, guys. That they have said is not them. That's why she can't say White's name. And then the head said, right, this meeting is over. I'll send you all a letter out because I've got another meeting to go to and I'm running late. Yeah, right. How about running scared? So can you all have a talk to your children when they get home? He said she could get us out of there fast enough. He said he could not come around sooner, which means he was trying to get a hold of Wayne sooner, but he couldn't. He's on nights, and then he'll be looking at Kate's stuff. That's all he told me. XOXO. Yeah, absolutely. And see, there it is in a nutshell. And it has to play out in a classroom or a school. I had quite a few discussions with the principal of my oldest daughter's public school. Quite a wonderful man, and told me on occasion that his hands were basically tied. Two different unions, and of course the teachers have one, and the principals and vices have others, and whatever. But he always loved having chats with me, and loved every time I challenged teachers for their stupidity. Racist teachings, pro-Zionist, and all the rest of it. And again, it's very subtle that they try to indoctrinate the children. It's bad enough that they rip out the imagination and they chop you into a 2x4 from this most beautiful natural log, if you will, and regiment you, control you, and try to tell you that it's fun. Hi, we're enslaving your soul because your parents gave it up with a birth certificate, and we just want to make sure that you're well programmed so that you will never resist this, so that we can feed from you for eternity. Sorry, Babylon, you fell. The game is over. I'm good with that. So anyway, that's how it's been playing out. Pure truth. Pure, absolute truth. Okay, so we'll get a few comments on that, and then everyone can jump in here and share with Max and anyone else that I've called out exactly why I did it. It's to get people to the table en masse so that they can get this very simple truth that has had nothing but victory after victory because people are finally figuring it out. Stopping servers at the gate, no foreclosures there. Stopping thefts of homes. This has happened too many times every time. Guys, we've lost count. And isn't it fun when you actually know the truth? We'll get Janet there. Your mic's open, hon. And you can all tell Max how much I love him because I do. That's why he's here. And I got to tell you, he's the only one I figured that would. That's why I've been laughing because I tell you, the only one I thought would have the balls enough to challenge me would be Max. And I love being right. And I'm so happy. We're gonna have a really good chat tonight, and just get this word out. And we got to power this up. And Weechi, you're in here too. But Janet, what's on your mind tonight, hon? Janet, you got that mute thing happening? Oh, must be. Are you on mute, Janet? Come on. I know there's a little time lag, so it's all good. Tell you what, looks like Richie's jumping in. Code 734, not familiar. Weechi, you're in there too. Oh, there. I wasn't. Oh, it must have been Janet. There you are. 530. I'm calling for Janet, and it's like, wait a minute. I'm gonna have to get you guys.
Hi, everyone. Yeah.
Calling on Skype so I know who it is. Anyway, Janet, go ahead. Since I was calling you and you put your hand up, thank you. And then Luigi and whoever else wants to jump in here.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, and I'm so glad Max is there and everyone. And today I saw a beautiful butterfly rainbow cloud, and it was just I wish I had a camera so I could post it, but anyway, that's just like a total sign of just everything that's changing and how it is now. So that's awesome.
I posted up that bullfight thing. It comes from 2009, but you know everything is now, so you read it and you're anagogic now. Did anybody I'm going to put this out tonight too, because I want to share this. This is just such a profound Babylon is fallen proof. I love it, right in the now. The Bullfights End from Stuart Wilde, beautiful essay. And not that long. It's just, boy, he just nails it right to the wall. And of course, what are bulls and what are matadors allegorically? Well, we know what that is. Anyway, jump in here, guys.
Yeah, I'm here. Hey, what's up?
Hey, Richie, how are you?
Yeah, all right. I'm just trying to power up again. My energy, I'm like quiet. I'm quiet like the sun, Kate. You know how the sun's quiet right now. And hey, I looked at that thing on Suspicious Observers. Hey, let me get my car. I'm sitting in my car right now. I got cars going by. They're crazy. And I saw that because I didn't listen to the beginning part of the show where you had mentioned Suspicious Observers, where he said the ship is sinking and the Phoenix is rising. You know, or the ship is sunken.
Well, again, Admiralty ship sunk allegorically. We go anagogic in these. Remember when we talk about defining your reality, you redefine. Now, everyone would take that literally. Oh, the ship is sinking and the Phoenix is right. Okay, so you're caught in somebody else's spell. What I do with it and what we're doing and others, you know where the yellow brick road is you look at that and you see what it means to you. So what it means to me is, oh, look, the mind ship is sinking, as in lining up. That's the overall consciousness. And, of course, the Phoenix risen from the ash, ash being H, the Trinity, Ita, E-T-A, which is right now.
Right. Yeah. And that's what he saw, too. I think that's what it is, like you said, is that consciousness is I'm sure when he put it in, I mean that's he's seeing that too. He's seeing the anagogic part of the whole thing. I mean, he studies the sun, the earth, the weather patterns, and I mean, so for him to put that in there, you know,
it's totally out of character.
Yeah.
So it was completely so far left field from what Suspicious Observers puts up. That's what. Well, not only the headline, but that caught my. Wait a minute, this is not your. You never do this. So anyway, I just took it as that beautiful time track shift, and I'm really hoping that Amy is listening in tonight. And if you want, love you to call in and share what you know, especially with Max at the table.
Hey, Kate.
Yeah, go ahead.
You're talking about Max Igan.
Yeah.
You're talking about
the one and only.
Wow. What, he's listening in right now?
Yeah, I'm hoping. He's going to come in, but he just texted me before the show that he was just getting. Grab a coffee, relax, and I want him to get into the vibe of what we're doing here and why it is so important that we get him here. Because I'll tell you, the only ones that come here are the ones ready to really deal it up.
Mm-hmm.
And it's
he's the one to get here.
Yeah. How many people have I called out? Quite a few. And Max is the only one. The only one I knew would be.
Yeah, me too. I figured Max would be the one. Yeah. I figured he'd be the one to get here. Yeah.
Well, Max, get your ass off the dunny and get in here.
No, well, let him have his coffee. He just got up. Leave him alone.
I'm just joking.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Come on, I had to make Hey, listen, guys, I had to make a wanker of myself by calling him a wanker, okay? So you know the joke. Let's get on it.
Calm down, everybody.
Oh, Max is going to sit together. Man, I listen to a lot of Max
It's
Egan.
playtime.
Okay, feather time, boys and girls. Do I have to? Thanks.
Hello,
there we
Kate.
go. Hello.
Hello.
I know we're excited.
Kate,
Go.
I'm a long-time listener, virgin caller. This is Shaina.
Shaina, how are you doing? Oh, my God. How are you?
I am doing fantastic.
You have a little
Couldn't
story
be
to share,
better.
don't you?
Well, I do, but I actually was calling because I was going to shed some light as to why it is so important for these children to give their name, because I used to be an attendance administrator. So here's the deal.
That's the whole universe clapping, not just me. Diana,
I worked for a school, kindergarten through 6th grade, for 3 years. And the teachers had to do the register every morning of the child's attendance. When they were done, they had to turn that attendance register into me. And I would tally up all of the classes to be sure that every child was there. And any child that was not there, I had to call their home and verify that they were absent for a good reason, which would be an illness or a death in the family. And then I would have to make that report also. These reports are then given to the state, and the state pays the school per child.
Per child, yep. I knew this in construction. Yeah, you're verifying everything. This is beautiful, coming right from the inside. Keep going, Shaina.
So, and in order for the schools to get paid for the attendance of these children, I was told to basically lead the parents. In other words, when I called, I wouldn't say, your child, I noticed, isn't here today. Why? I wouldn't say it that way. I was instructed to lead them and say, oh, I see little Mary isn't here today. She's home ill, correct? And that was because they still get paid for what
bond rating
to be an excused absence.
Yeah, bond ratings. Pay attention, people.
Yes. So anyway, I wanted to shed light on that so that you all, excuse me, my door's a little squeaky there, so that you would all know that that is the reason it is so important for these children to give their names, because otherwise the schools don't get paid. All goes back to the money. Always goes back to the money.
And
they get paid for every child that's labeled, too, ADD, yep. And for every drug that they administer, too, for every kid they put on Ritalin, too. Yeah.
Yep, they want to it's all money. And that's part of the contracting. I was a general contractor dealing with school board. And there was a lot of new school building in the city I was a part of. And a couple of the projects had to be made smaller because they didn't have the guaranteed attendance to have the required numbers to get the required money from the bonds. You can call it provincial government, whatever.
Absolutely, and the other issue that the schools take is that if the state basically, I live in the United States, so the state basically gives them little carrots. And if they can maintain, a percentile, 90, 95%, I can't remember at this time, it was a long time ago, over, in attendance, then they would promise them little goodies, such as new computers in the classroom,
all money,
little extra bonus money. Mm-hmm.
Now,
it's not about the money.
Yeah, I was going to say, thank you, Maureen. You're right in my heart here.
It's not about the money.
This is about the soul.
Yeah.
Can they give you enough carrots to keep your soul? And I mean that in the most absolute, perfectly literal way I can say it. It's real.
Oh, it's absolutely. And I had shared my story about my grandson who was born with kidney failure, and we were hassled 2 years ago because we refused to put him into a public school, and mainly because he's special needs, but also because we don't want him subjected to the public school. And my daughter was threatened by the county, who came and wanted to basically arrest the parents for child endangerment. And that's about the time that I stepped in and basically told them where to take a hike and that they didn't have a leg to stand on, and they've not bothered her since.
Well, look at the word truant. Truant, right? True mind. And that's why when you are truant, you are being true to self, true to your own mind. That's why they have truancy officers. Truant psi. Yeah. It's
always true.
It's all in the Phoenician. Borean, jump in here. Wonderful to have you.
I was just going to say this is a game for your soul, and what they are doing there, in the scholastic system, they're basically bribing and paying the adults off to keep the kids brainwashed and keep the kids into the system. And notice how, with the way that she worded her phone call, that it's the parent that is consenting to say, okay, yes, my kid is homesick today, and it's all about the soul.
Registration, right? Or the legal name tied to the registration, so they can still access the bond. That's exactly what happened with the gamete intrafallopian transfer, the gift.
Same thing.
Look it up in Black's Law, and that's what happened. That took the vessel, the empty vessel, the gamete is sperm, egg, all the way out to the baby, because the spirit doesn't grab that body until it's outside of it. And I'm going to use the allegory again. If you don't get in the car until it's off the assembly line, that's how the game works. That's why your zodiac is the minute you're born, when you come out, when you're fully out of mother. At that point, for 9 months, it's a vessel that doesn't have a pilot or a captain on board yet. So when people, mom and dad, register it, what they're doing on the anagogic spiritual level is they're giving up the rights, the gift to that vessel that has nothing, no one claiming it yet. So when you grab the body after it comes out of mom, that ship has already been shanghaied. And this is how the money is created off the bonds. Now, what you were saying there, Shaina, about rating, you might as well go down the list and say, well, are you black, white, Asian, Hispanic? One of these nights, I should probably read it out. The bond rating.
That was already there.
That's
already there when they register.
Oh, I know that, but I'm just saying the bond rating system they use for mothers to be, it reads like it is. It's a bond rating. They want to know how much money the kid is going to generate through debt, taxes, and all the rest. And they, someone from the ghetto might get a $50,000 value on their birth bond because they're not expected to do anything, where a Yale family kid will have like a $10 million bond. Typically, it's about $1 million per bond on average. But that's soul, and it's a debt. It's not money created. It's a debt placed against your soul, your life energy. And when you claim to be the name that is registered, that is not yours, that is Crown copyright, let them have their paper. If the name is on paper, it isn't you. It is that simple. And the instant you answer to that name attaches you right back to the Narmer Palette curse called the birth certificate. And that's why cops carry the little Narmer Palette books, right? A palette is something you write on, and it's something you might want to check with clean your palate with some truth, some wine of truth, okay? These things all connect together. And in such a beautiful way, and there is no stopping it now. Shaina, please, if there's more you want to add here, because the more information people get to affirm their knowledge, you know this. We're not making this up. You already know this. This is
absolutely.
How you can the emotions.
I have a son that is not awake, and he's a lieutenant in the police department. And he told me from when he first went into the force, he told me all of this. He said, if a police officer ever comes to your house and knocks on your door and asks to come in, did you know that you don't have to open the door for them and invite them in?
No, that's
they'll
the
do it in a very nice way. Yes, he says everything that you do, Mom, is done by consent. Now, unfortunately, the police field has totally adulterated my son, and he now has turned his back on the family because he is just 100% into the system, and it has actually destroyed his soul.
Yeah, and that's not your
destroyed his soul.
That's not your concern, hon. You planted the seeds. If the soil isn't fertile, that's not your issue. Move along. It's not your concern. I know this is tough. I mean, I had to do it with my own family. So, and here's the joy of it, hon, because you walk your own path. If that soul is redeemable at all, you're going to miss them anyway. So don't waste your time trying on the physical level. Stay the course on your yellow brick road, your path. You're here to save you and no one else. And in the process, you save all. I
went through that, yes. I agree.
Yeah.
I went through that, and I had to go through all of the mourning and the pain because I also lost 2 grandchildren in the process. And finally, one day, I just looked in the mirror and I said, let it go. That's his path. I have to walk mine.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly it.
Mm-hmm.
Who else wants to jump in here? And by the way... Okay, Alvita, you're next. Just want to say this one thing. Guys, you know I don't blow sunshine up anybody's ass, yeah? Anything, I'll take a flamethrower to it. You know that. Okay.
Yes.
Now, why don't you just let Max know how awesome it is that he's here?
Max, it's awesome you're here.
We love you, Max.
Welcome.
He's got his mind is awesome.
We need the strength of people like Max. I'm tired of this whole movement being divided, right? And while people will look at what I'm doing, that's very divisive. It's not. Because I'll tell you, the only thing that's going to connect us are those that are strong enough to connect. And the only ones that are strong enough to connect are the ones that can stand shoulder to shoulder, not face to face. Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those are the ones you want, you know?
Okay, so
well,
go ahead, Rich.
Well, yeah, let me just grab the feather real quick because you called it out. You figured out the first part of it when I got pulled over with my nephew there, and went through the whole ordeal and with the cop, asking my ID, what's your name, and I'm me, got ID, absolutely not. And so, anyways. The thing that came to my mind when I talked to him afterwards, I says, I know you follow your protocols. That's why I say things kind of just not by accident, but because the rhythm of the energy of what's going on. And then I come back later with a gold nugget, and we broke that down. They have a protocol, and when you break that down, like you did with Truant, like we do with all the words that we use, it's in the language. And you said pro means 4. 2 means 1, 2, and call. So they're calling out the dead and they're calling out the living, right? We've just all along been giving out the name of the dead. When you don't give the name and you just say I'm me, I'm an eternal being that exists forever, or whatever you want to add to the realization that our spirit's eternal. They're calling out the dead and they're calling out the living. So pro 4, they're 4.
Yeah, you have the option, Richie, and this is it. And I'm gonna go right back to March 14th, and the only thing that drilled this point home for these guys is simply this: I'm not in your dead by consent jurisdiction. I am of the living. I don't play in the dead. Bye-bye.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hey.
Oh, Alvita wanted to jump in here then, whoever next. Go ahead, Alvita. Sorry, honey.
Okay. Yes, that's okay. Yeah, it's funny y'all mentioned Phoenix Rising at the beginning of the show, and I did post that just before the show.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, you saw that, right?
That's perfect.
Yes. What's her name? Sheena. How you say your name?
Shaina.
Yes. I read your article today. I'm the one that posted on there all that stuff.
Thank you.
Yes, it's a great article, and your grandson is so blessed to have you. That's all I wanted to say. Anyway, and
thank you
welcome,
so
Matt.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
All right.
That same thing happened to my daughter, and she got a letter to her legal fiction name because she's been keeping her kids out of the public school, and they threatened her to go to jail and $250,000 fine and CPS. And I said, if, it was me, I just put deceased on it and send it all back and don't even think about it because it's not you. So far she hasn't heard from them. But
that's
funny. All right, Janet.
Right on.
Good advice.
Michael, oh my.
Aloha.
All right.
I love it. I just had a little message here, guys, from Steve. Sounds like everyone's so excited they're running over each other. Yeah, we are. We're just excited. The energy's awesome. And can you guys feel what's shifting tonight? I can feel what's shifting tonight.
Yes.
And Max, it's okay if you want to come in and tear me a brand new one, go for it. I'm in. I'm so in. It's all good because the fact that you're here is just awesome. And again, I'm just waiting for him to finish his coffee. He might come in at the top of the hour, but I want to make sure he has plenty of time to talk. That's my biggest concern. And, of course, bringing him in with me, I can't mute him. So what's more fair than that? Rock and roll.
What do you think? You think you ought to mute us so we don't? Because I'll stay silent, Max Gems. I mean,
again, just remember, there's time lags on. Okay, guys, just a sec.
Sorry.
I love you all. It's all good. No worries. There is time lag on the Skype, so keep that in mind. Just let a little pause between what people are saying. Do we have to start saying over and Roger Wilco here, or what?
Yeah, over.
Over.
Rover.
So many of you. Well, hey.
Let's do laughing therapy.
Oh yeah.
I just wanted to thank everyone for especially, the table and Kate for the Kids Cove, because the children are near and dear to my heart for obvious reasons. And it's been a struggle. I want to thank, everyone for looking out for the children, because it is a struggle when you have a child that's born with issues that, are hundreds of thousands of dollars every year. And it's going to take our energy and our destruction of Babylon to get these children untied from the system. And I just wanted to thank everyone with my heart in hand to all of you.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Just to share a little something, I thought before the show a couple of hours ago that I'm going to have a little talk to Dr. Dimitri, and I had a beautiful walk on the other side, and the only message I've got to go back tonight. I was told I have to come back. It was that cool. Anyway, bottom line is I'm on mission, and the only thing that was said to me was this, that I'm here to bring the children home. And if you think for 1 second I'm going to step down from that, bring it on. Because this is one flaming Belfast Gemini dragon slayer that is not going to stop.
Shoulder to shoulder, Kate.
Not one child left behind. And look what's happening, guys. Children are going to bring us home anyway. We just have to make the path. We just had to open the way, and the way is open now. It was shown allegorically in that discovered underwater entrance, right? So that's the soft underbelly And, of course, it's deep in the truth, and that's what we've done. We found the deepest truth, the soft underbelly of the system, and it's coming down. I mean, just what has been displayed today in front of me in so many ways of the Whore of Babylon is toast. Babylon is fell. It's done. Stay the course.
This is why we need Max.
Exactly
This is
why
exactly why we need Max, because you know what the White Knight did for us was she just brought down the whole entire fictional educational system, and that was the last thing for us to bring down here, ladies and gentlemen. So getting Max on board here would be just so awesome, because basically the head work has already been done, and we're at the bottom. We're ready to climb out. We're ready to move up. And yeah, Max, we could use your help standing in truth, buddy.
Yeah, I mean, hey, listen, I've got a voice out there, and I'm still just a mouthy tranny. It's people like Max and so many others that I wish would actually finally stand up and show some cojones and standing in the truth. And the simplest part of this is you don't have to do anything. You just have to get the concept that you are not the legal name, and that when you get in your heart that you never have to answer to it, because you don't. The name is yours. We already exposed the fraud in reverse. I mean, the intent to defraud Mom and Dad was there. So any claim they make to the name, they cannot have. But you cannot be ignorant of this. It's the ignorance that is harming humanity. It's the ones that blindly consent. Remember, ignorance is not a defense of or from the law, and I'm talking universal law. This is why knowledge, standing in truth, and never yielding it is so critically important. You put the shields up, and we have talked to too many people at this table. So many of you have come to this table, and you know what the shields are, what I'm talking about. Miracles happen around you. And how many have we've lost count of them? And they're not miracles. They are what it's meant to be. When you accept all things and stand in truth, the whole thing falls in front of you, right? And it's a voice like Max's and so many others that I could mention, but I'm not going to, because only those that actually have the courage to stand. And I'll tell you, if I have to be the one to challenge everyone so that someone challenges me for whatever reason, it doesn't matter. I'll be the wanker. I'll be the hated one. I've said this countless times, because emotions have no effect on me. I don't care, because the truth is so pure, so center, nothing can shift it. You can't offend me. I have to agree to be offended. Why would I do that? I know you're perfect, I'm perfect, we're all perfect. I just simply accept that fact and laugh the rest away. It's all drama to me. But yes, it's people like Max and others that have large voices. I'll tell you, the paid shills out there like Alex Jones and David Icke, all they need to, if they were actually soulful and stood in this truth, this game is over like that. But we don't have sellouts like David Icke and Alex Jones and so many others that are lining their pockets with the Whore of Babylon soul money. No, what we have are people that have sacrificed you guys, myself, Max, what happened there? But that's okay. It doesn't matter. We stay the course. And those strong enough to walk this path will walk it. The road is narrow and very hard to find. Few will find it, and even fewer will have the strength and the will to walk it. And it only takes one to do it. And you're the one. We all are. Let's take the children home. Would you give me a hand? I know you are. Look at the help. It's beautiful.
And healthy children.
Yes.
Hey, Kate.
Oh, hang on. Go ahead, Colleen. But I'm gonna bring Max in. So just give me a sec. Go ahead, Colleen.
Okay.
No, go ahead, Colleen. It's ringing on Max's end now. Yeah.
Okay. I wanted to add. I had to get off for a minute. That what Shaina was saying, and also how the education system is hand in hand with the pharmaceutical system. And many parents aren't aware of this, that the schools receive funding for every child that is vaccinated. And they don't tell parents that there is the option of signing an exemption. You can sign a philosophical exemption. It doesn't agree with your philosophy, or a health exemption for your child, or a religious exemption. But in September, before school starts, they're calling all the parents saying, is your child up on all their vaccinations? But they never tell you that that is available because they get funding for every child. Now, when they do give you that exemption, it's not because they're doing something for the parents or the child. What they're doing is covering their butt, because if one of these children get damaged in any way from the vaccination, then they're covered, because they can say, well, you could have signed an exemption if you thought that your child would be damaged in any way, their health.
And again,
so they
calling
back to the money.
Again, and no, it's not the money. This is why I'm cutting in here. It's the soul. If they can keep people thinking in terms of money and that kids are property and all the rest of it, and that it's just normal routine, the soul trap is kept secure. So the money is the illusion. Remember, coin means high priest, right? So no, absolutely. Oh man, this is just exploding everywhere. Now I'm going to bring Max in.
And welcome. I wanted to say welcome to Max. You finally showed up.
It's all good. No, Max is always welcome here. You know that. I just wanted to create a bigger stir to get others. Richie, make it really short because I got something to share for you.
It's the phonetics in pharmo pseudo, right? Pseudo means fake, false. Pharmo pseudo co, right?
Yeah, that false co. Again, all in the sound. Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Well, yeah, we're gonna do. I got to do a night of just busting words apart so everyone can start seeing the real magic of the sound and the phonics. But I just want to share this with everybody. It's something inspired to write today, thinking of all the trials and tribulations so many of you, myself, everyone have been through to get here in crucifixions. Some of us are still enduring them, and that's cool. That's the nature of this game. But you're strong enough, and you know this. You see, you can't fall. No, you can't. You won't let yourself. So here, this is what I shared, and I want to make sure that this goes right from this heart to every heart out there. And anyone that's actually listening to this right now, the reason why you're hearing this is because this is for you. So for all those that have found and walked the narrow road, the harshest of all roads on this earthly plane, for all the trials and tribulations you have endured, standing in truth and standing to post, fearless in the knowing that you were right all along. To you I most humbly bow, for I know your cost, the price we have all paid that reflects in the eyes of every child set free from the harm that you stood to post for. There is no greater reward than this. We have set our children free, and I stand with you, shoulder to shoulder, with Babylon laid to ruins. To say I love you is such an understatement. Simply feel my heart beating in unison with yours, as it always has and always will. Prometheus bled. I wrote this for you guys. About not quite 2 years ago. But I knew I was writing it not just for me, but for all of us that walk this. Last night I died 1,000 deaths, each by 1,000 cuts. And though I want to leave this path, continue on I must. How much more can my soul endure this walk that steals my breath, where all around me pick away this slow Promethean death? This place of hearts so quickly drains, reserves this gilded cage, entombed within the solace fair, cries out with neutral rage. That once I'm fallen on broken knees, do the carrion gather high, where crows that cackle in the fray, in silence I will cry. Forgive them gently with mother's love, dig deep yet deeper still, where those that fed from this weary child do feed upon my will. Where dare I stood in truths profound, the blind eyes made to see, as mortal flesh rots on their limbs, these walking dead and me. Cannot they see beyond this veil, beyond the surely bounds? These fools that conflict searches out, still chains them to the ground. I am free, they yell from towers high, but know themselves not yet. They only see the flesh their knots, while caught in illusion's net. So toil I must and stand I will to bleed another day, where somehow through this misty plain I can help them find their way, to Middle Earth where ebb meets flow, the balance of the tides, to climb Olympus' craggy face where Prometheus resides. Since for his gift of fire's truth the ascensions of the mind, wrought from his flesh his liver torn, where morrow's day does find. His quest ordeal renews again, sacrificial daily bread, is where I share these self-same truths in the way Prometheus bled. And on that, I'm going to let you guys introduce the one, the only, Max Igan. Welcome, Max, guys.
Yay! Hey, thanks for being here.
Max,
thanks for inviting me.
Welcome to the table, Max.
Yeah, Max, you're here, man. You have no idea how profound this is, because what I cast out was the complete opposite, to see who could come home. And you have got a voice of voices, my friend. And I'm not blowing sunshine up your ass. I'm just stating a fact. Challenge.
Hell of a way to get my
attention. I know, eh? Oh, we love it.
Hell of a way to get my attention. I mean,
in
you've
the
got me on Skype.
I know, bud. But
you've got me on Skype. Hey, Max. Come and
I know, but that's no fun, because look what we got. We got a nice stir up. We got everybody on fire, and here you are. I love you.
Yeah, well, you know, like
I know.
I've been having a rough time with it lately, and that poem you just read, man, that sounds like my life.
Yeah, me too.
I've been getting so weary of this, man. I'm 56. I've been screaming out of this since I was like a kid. You know, I get kicked out of 4 schools for arguing with my teachers. You know?
Yeah, well, this table you're at right now.
I woke up I get so much hate mail. I get so much personal attacks. People like Arthur Christian and
all these idiots.
These idiots just attacking me. And I woke up the other morning and I opened my email, and the first email I got was, "Kate of Gaia thinks you're a wanker." And I just went, fuck this. Fuck this truth movement. These people. Fuck this show. I've been doing this for fucking years. Fuck yous all.
Got
I'm
you
going to go
fired.
and live in the forest.
Oh,
I'm going to
Max.
go and live in the fuck it all.
Max,
that's what I thought. That's exactly what the email did to me. I mean, you could have sent me a message on Skype. It came at a bad time. But anyway, it got my attention. So,
I got your attention, and I wanted you to come in from that to come into this bliss, because you need to know how powerful you are. That's why you're here.
Well, you know, I mean, it's good. I love what you're doing, and I love what you're bringing to the table, because we live in 2 worlds. You know, we live in 2 worlds. Even here in Australia, you can look at the whole system. We've got the actual, you got the Commonwealth Government of Australia, and you've got the Australian Commonwealth Government, which are 2 separate entities. One's the actual country and the people, which is under common law and natural law and all that sort of stuff. The other one's corporation. And, of course, you've got the certificate of live birth, which goes with one, and you've got the birth certificate, which goes with the other. There's 2 realities that we're
let's go even deeper, though, Max. This is why you're at this table now, because we have found the key to unlock it all. Everything that is in terms of the physical reality, governments, and everything that we think of, that's all the illusion. And the one key, guy, I'm going to get it won't be me talking most tonight. I want everyone else at this table that has experienced the magic of this Yellow Brick Road. And this is why we need your voice. It's to take that one little step over, and when you see the magic, it's going to blow your mind. And guys, is there any way to explain this to anybody? Really?
Well, I actually saw that clip that you sent me a link to of the guy who went to court, and he said, "Look, I have the proof of the fraud in my hand and all that sort of stuff."
Yeah.
I mean, this is all great, and this is actually you can do it. But I mean, you've got to, like, for me here in Australia, the police here are out of control. I've had my sister, my own sister, actually out in the country, and she was confronted by police. She's carrying plates on her car. She's got no license. She was confronted by a police officer. She didn't give a name. He ended up letting her go and all that sort of stuff, and she got through it. But you do that in the city. If I was to not have a license and drive into town here, I would end up spending so much time in jail fighting police officers that I wouldn't be able to teach anybody anything.
Not if they. Here, Max. Here's the magic. You can carry a license if you want. I don't carry anything. I ran off 3 cops. I'm a high-profile target here in Canada.
Hang on. No, listen. Let me finish. Okay. If I was to start with the Vlad legislation, the new police they've introduced into Queensland here, they've even told, like, the Vlad legislation is basically people are guilty until proven innocent, and any person who refuses to answer a question given to them by a police officer is up for instant arrest. Okay, so if I get pulled over, a person here, like the other day, a couple of weeks ago, there was a woman pulled over because she looked at the time on her mobile phone. It's a 45-year-old woman. She picked up a phone, looked at the time because the clock's broken in her car. Cop pulled her over, said, "You were using your mobile phone." She said, "No, I wasn't." And she only had the window down a little way. He said, "Put the window down." She said, "No." He called for backup. They pulled out a bat and smashed the window of the car, dragged her out of the car, handcuffed her, took her to court, locked her in the cell, took her to court the next day. If I refuse to answer a police officer a question, if he pulls me up in a car, he'll smash the window, he'll arrest me, he'll zip tie me, kick the shit out of me, take me to a police station and take me into the court the next morning. And I'm there handcuffed in their dock. You understand?
No, I don't, because I'll tell you what's really going on here. I honestly, this is why you're here. I really need you to get this. This is how powerful this is. It's only when you know who you are.
I already know who I am, but they don't. These guys these guys haven't got two brain cells to rub together. They've changed the screening. These guys have got IQs of 104 and they're jacked up on steroids, and they don't give a shit. And they are brutal, violent people. And as soon as you refuse to answer a question, they smash the window of your car and they beat you up and arrest you. That's what's happening here in Australia.
Well, that's what's happening all around the world for those that are still attached mentally to the name at all. If you have any mental assumption or presumption of that legal name, the vampires, and I mean this quite literally, it's an anagogic, it's a spiritual, absolute causal intent. If you agree with that at all, that's how they can come in. I'm telling you, the match.
Well, I don't even use my birth name, so I have no attachment to the name at all.
Right. Well, I don't.
That's the thing. The problematic, you can deal with it. I mean, I love the way you're dealing with it in court, but for the moment, for me to just get rid of my license and go off and march the line out there, run the gauntlet.
You don't have to, Max. This is my point. You don't have to. It's just a concept that you have to get. Now, I'd really love for some other people to jump in here. Because
I just wanted to say, Max, if that was you getting pulled over instead of that lady, that cop would definitely have walked away from you. When you know who you are and you're standing in that truth.
Well, look, I've had situations like that. I got pulled over actually with Ben Stewart when he was here. We got pulled over by the police when we were leaving this concert. And as soon as they waved me in, I just said, waving a bit of revenue for the corrupt government, are we, boy? Called out to the cop as I drove past. And I was brutal to these police. And they let me go.
Of course they will, because you know who you are.
They let you go.
Exactly. Yeah. So, but the problem is, if I it's a fine line, and it's bringing this attention to the people is the hard part. At the moment, we've got an issue here. So I've got to deal with the physical as well as the spiritual, because we've got this coal and gas issue in this country, and this is a spring-fed nation. We don't have precipitation. All of our water comes from springs, and coal seam gas is destroying the Great Artesian Basin. It's going to render the country uninhabitable.
Well, that's why we're taking the system down.
Yeah, exactly. So I've got to kind of walk with one foot in the fiction and one foot in reality just to stay in focus, because I've got to get people's attention. What I'm trying to do with this coal seam gas thing is get people's attention, and once we've got their attention to how corrupt the government is, that they're actually destroying the water table to support this stupid economic model, perhaps we can show them that, look, there's this whole fictional system here.
Yeah.
Once we've got their attention with this, this is what I'm trying to do. That's why I've got to kind of walk with one foot in and one foot out.
Not disagreeing with you. I just want to carry one. This is the main reason why you're here, is to carry this one message, because when people get this is the power of no legal name. Because without the legal name, it nullifies any access to the spiritual bond money. It nullifies it completely. Completely. This is the soul contract destroyed. And when that's destroyed, there's no value left in it. There's no revenue ever coming out of it. More importantly, there's no soul there to feed from. Now, if you get a visual of the vampires being above the banks, the religions and governments, and the courts, and then the werewolves are the police. They're the ones that have to contract you onto the armor pallet. Remember, the courts are run by the police, not the other way around. Yeah. You know this, right? So it's all backwards.
I know what you're saying, Kate. I know what you're saying, and what I love about what you've done is because, like, I think in pictures. It's difficult for me to. And this has been a learning curve for everybody. What you've done is with that Babylon's Fallen document, you've laid it out very, very concisely.
And all I want, buddy,
it's beautiful, and the simplicity of it is pure genius.
And that's why I wanted you here.
Congratulations on it.
It's yours. It's everyone's. It's not mine. I just put the Cave of Gaia so people know where it came from. Not that it's important, but if they're your words, whose words are they? Well, they're yours. So the biggest reason I'm going to get Mike. I think Mike just jumped in. Did you jump in, Mike?
It was boring. Yeah,
hey
Max.
Go ahead,
well, I was just going to say that lady that got her, windshield or windows smashed out. Do you know the details of all that was involved with that? I mean, at what point did she show an ID or agree to be a name? Because as soon as you agree to be the name, they have consent to smash your window in.
She could have been a shill.
Without giving them a name, they do not have consent. They cannot drag you out of your car unless there is some joinder, and it's somehow, some way where she gave him an ID or gave him a name or what have you. So.
I think the lady in Burleigh actually did give him some ID, but it recently happened to a lady in Mullumbimby as well who just refused to show a license or anything, and they just smashed her window and dragged her out of a car and arrested her. Because these guys are just jacked up on roids. They don't care. They like hurting people. And there's three of them and there's one of you, and they just do what they want, And then you go to court, and of course the court finds that the police couldn't possibly do anything wrong because they're the police, I mean, it's corrupt, You just get railroaded. But of course, when they go to court, they don't know how to handle themselves in court. But unfortunately, they're usually arrested, taken to the cell, then they're brought into the dock, and they're in that little cage in there with the handcuffs on. What do? You're actually in their court. I mean,
well, same thing I did. I go up one side of the judge and down the other, but that's just me. You know
what I want to say real quick before I lose this thought is
Wayne, do you stand your post?
Is the power that we stand in. See, the thing is even if they are jacked up on steroids and this and that, the higher ups, right? If they haven't yet informed these individuals, is that when you stand in that truth, we talk about natural law, universal law. The universal law is when you know who the frig you are and you stand in it. If they tread on your territory, right, and that fine line that I've drawn, you see, I'm not standing between the line they've drawn. You see, it's the line I've drawn. When they tread upon that natural universal truth, okay, it fall that much quicker. I don't care if they flatten all my tires or everything else. They're not going to get a name out of me. I know who I am, and I'm going to let them know who I am, because I am that great I am. I'm universal, eternal.
I agree with that.
Right? You see? So what I'm getting at is that, yeah. So they'll fall that much quicker.
Yeah, it's just that at the moment, I'm so busy with all the coal seam gas and stuff, I just don't have time to argue with police on the side of the road every 15 minutes.
Oh, no, that's not your job.
I hear you, Max,
Okay, now...
I just don't. Once I'm in a position where I can... See, if I can use this coal seam gas issue, see, what I did with it is, so you've got to... I really believe you've got to present things... I mean, these people are asleep. These people are drones, So you've got to present things to them in a way that they understand. And with the whole coal seam gas issue, you get this. This was a classic. There's this whole group here called Lock the Gate, and there's all this stuff they're trying to do to combat coal seam gas, and they're using the system, trying to legal loopholes and petitions and all this shit. It's fiction.
Yep.
I went down and saw them. I said, okay, listen, guys, let's step back and look at this realistically. This is a spring-fed nation. So what is the most essential thing for the security of this nation? It's water, groundwater. Therefore, any threat to groundwater must be seen as a threat to national security. So what you need to do is you need to approach all of your elected trustees, which is that's all they are, and
someone's got some stuff going in the background.
You need to contact all these trustees, all the members of government, the Prime Minister, the Minister for Environment, all these people, and you need to say to them, okay, because this is a matter of national security, because it's a threat to groundwater, you, the government, need to show us the results of the studies you've done prior to commencing this industry that show conclusively that this doesn't pollute groundwater, and if you can't, you need to show cause why we should not rally the people to express a loss of confidence in this government and take the necessary steps to have them dismissed. Right? That was the body of the letter they sent to them, and within 6 days, the license for the gas well was cancelled, and they're trying to shift blame onto the gas companies, right? And now they've stopped the well, so you need to pursue it and still say you need to provide the results of the studies, because this has a result to bring down the government. And these people that I'm teaching all this to, I'm also teaching this kind of stuff to.
Yeah.
So once we've brought this to national attention, then I can be there in public and just do it. I'll tear up my license on the spot and rip my plates off the car on national television.
And guess why you're here, Max? Because I know this. Again, it's about getting the profile, and that's why you're here. Now, I'm not sure if Mike was going to jump in here. I thought Mike had. Bindi, jump in here.
Yes, Kate.
Yeah. You see what I mean, though? That's just the methodology that I feel is the most appropriate to use,
Yeah, I decided to be transgender for the high-profile game.
Hey, look, Max.
Interesting call.
I know. Put on a skirt. That'll get their attention.
This isn't about licenses and driving your car and stuff like that, Max.
No,
This is about how they use.
I know. It's a lot bigger. That's just the symbol. Yeah, I know.
This is about how they used your birth certificate to create a bond, and that's how all money is created. So
that was my parents.
Yeah. Okay, guys, just a sec. Here we go with the feather thing again. Let me clarify for Max. Here's the intent that I felt, not just the words. The intent that I felt. What Max is doing is getting onto a higher platform as far as awareness of being him, and once you're there, then you show the magic. I get it.
Exactly. Because if you just present this to all these brain dead drones, you're going to go, this guy is delusional. You know what I mean?
They already know
you've got to get their attention. These people are so asleep. We're a heavily fluoridated country. But the beauty of this is a whole country. Australia's only 26 million people. That's less than one city in the United States. We've got a potential of waking up an entire country, which could send a shockwave which would go right around the world. With this type of issue. And I know it's all about the bond. It's all about the two realities that you're living in. This is what I've been trying to tell people for years. It's the power of your flesh. The power of you are alive. That's all you really need to know. And, there's been attempts at this, and people have misunderstood everything. So you see, this is what, the OPPT, before it got hijacked, the original filing, what was great about that original filing was because it said... What is that noise?
I don't know. I'm going to try to figure it out. Who's got a saw going off in the background?
I have no idea who that is. I've been trying to mute all kinds out, but it's not working. So, let's try and get this anagogic, guys, because we all get the fucking around on the literal in the real world or the reality. But how about the actual world where it is cause, not effect? We are trying to be cause. I'm trying to lift this up a bit, Max. You're spot on, mate, all of it, and it's good that there are ground workers to get the attention pointed to where it needs to be, so it can be like a jumping board to the anagogic or the less literal level, because the cop on steroid is not going to touch you if you stand in truth, in your neutral godhood. He can't touch you because he can't see you. That is how powerful you are. But keep fucking around in the dirt, in the real name and in the real game, he can touch you. That's, I think, what the point's been trying to be made here. It's hard to get in the literal, but once you've felt it, I've been there, I've been in jail, I've been with the whole shit. I've tested the system, and I've been the warrior, and I've done it all. And since kid, I knew this was part of my path, but I'm recontracting, I'm now becoming a lover, and I'm loving the system to death. I'm cuddling it to bits. I'm standing in my truth. They can't touch me, they can't see me, but I can feel them, and I can nurture them.
Right. See, that's the foundation. You're right, Mindy. That's the foundation when you stand there. That's what I'm trying to say. Is they're going to be even that much more depowered. The power is going to be taken away from them because the spirit, that universal spirit consciousness that knows who it is the foundation. They try stripping that away, their system falls that much quicker. When each person stands in that truth, it spreads out exponentially.
When the bonds are worthless, the system collapses. Go ahead, Mark.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing where I resonate, Max, is the simplicity that the Emerald Table brings. No name, no game. It's anything complicated doesn't resonate, and it's the simplicity that we bring that anyone can understand, Max. Anyone. It's not complicated. It is so simple.
Yep.
And you're right. You're right. A country like Australia, 20 million people, that isn't a city of America's size. Simplicity. And I thank everyone at the table.
Yeah.
Max.
Thank you.
Max.
And I love you, Max.
This whole table loves you, Max.
Max.
Absolutely,
you've been
man.
Wish for a long time, mate.
Max,
we know what you've done.
I want to talk to Max.
Yeah, go ahead, hon. Just know what you're capable of. You are big. I love it. Go ahead, hon.
Max, this is Blue Green Lori, and you've changed my life. Unbelievable. Your voice to me is pure serenity. Okay, and so those of us at this table, we get it. We get it from an anagogic level. And what we need, and I understand what's going on there with the gas mining and all of that other stuff, and the destruction, the pillaging of this whole entire planet. But we need to get the word out, because it is the game. The way in is the way out. And they got us in the system through the birth certificate, and that is the way out. And so we have to get the word out on that. We need you, we need Santos, we need everybody that's on the radio speaking truth to get this out. And once everybody stops using the name,
it's
over.
It's over.
It's done.
It's over.
The sword you wield, Max. The sword you wield, Max.
For the ones of your listeners who are awake, once they get that, it starts spreading, like the Fabergé Organics commercial.
Okay.
What the hell is it?
I'm just checking the mics right now. I think it's either Wendy, Lotus, or Ouija. I'm not sure, but I got the three of them muted right now. So carry on. Max, let Max jump in here, guys. Come on.
Yeah, and thanks for all that. I mean, I hope the shows have helped, you know. I mean, I've been trying to expose the fiction for years. I really have. You know, it's finding the tools that you can use. There's only one to actually fight through it. Because it's one thing to know it's fiction, but it's another thing to find the tools. And I was mentioning it before, because I want to clear something up, because I got a lot of flack over the whole OPPT thing, because I had those guys and I interviewed them. And there was some gold in the OPPT that everybody missed. Because you're saying there's this commercial system that enslaves us, which is through the birth certificate, and you agree that what controls that system is a uniform commercial code, right?
Oh, absolutely. All proven long ago.
UCC.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
So what they did with the OPPT was they filed within the uniform commercial code that if you are alive, if you be, then you are free from the code. Okay, that's what they filed, that one filing.
I get it, Max.
All anybody had to do was be alive and be free. So if you're a person out there who believes that the fiction is real and the birth certificate and all this stuff is real, and you believe the paper-based reality is real, well, now here's a piece of paper that says you're free. Do you feel free now? You know,
I don't need a piece of paper. We don't need a piece of paper.
Either do I. But what about the drones who are asleep who believe the paper's real? Maybe that will be the penny that will drop that will cause them to wake the fuck up. You know, that's what
why
that
we
was
have to
about.
get the name game out.
But people were so brain dead and so locked into the fiction and so locked into the fight. They went, oh, no, don't be free. Don't be free. That's locking you into the UCC system. These fucking idiots like Arthur Christian. Oh, no, don't be free. You've got to come my way. It's only my way. Everybody else is a government whore, you know.
King Arthur.
That was potential
we know that, Max.
to show the
Let's
people
get into the
that
table,
they were
Max.
free.
Yeah, you're preaching at the choir here, buddy.
Table, Max.
And then it got hijacked. And I got so much flack. Fucking idiots like Arthur Christian saying, oh, he's a New World Order shield. This was the New World Order. No, it wasn't. It was freedom, you fucking idiot.
Hey, tell you what, Max.
You're on fire, Max.
I'll raise you one. Arthur actually tagged me. What about a week and a half ago, guys? I tore him a brand new universe.
Yeah, she did.
Asking me if I was hijacking his work. Buddy, I haven't talked to you in 3 years, and the diatribes you write, you can't read because they're 4 miles long, and I just don't have the time to read books all day. And it's just full of the same thing over and over, self-aggrandizement, and this is the only thing. There's only one key for everybody, and this is the one thing that unlocks it. It is once you refuse to be, not refuse to rejoin, but to say no to the name, in all its ways. If it's on a piece of paper, it's illusion. The only name that's true is the one that you're hearing in your head, that beautiful high frequency that, no, you cannot tell anyone your name. You can't speak it because it's too high a frequency, and it's yours. That's the only frequency of its kind in the universe. That's what makes all the individual points little sparks of the all-spark. And
exactly.
When we get together, we create the song and the symphony, and that's what we're doing here. Max, get your high profile. In the meantime, slip around the Babylon Has Fallen, because that's a culmination of 4.5 years of work.
Yeah, well, no, I love what you've done, and I agree with it. I absolutely agree with what you're saying, and this is the sort of thing that I've been telling people for years. I mean, I just love the way you put it in.
I'm just trying to make it simple.
Manner, in a concise manner, and it's great. And I'll tell you what, I've got speaking dates. I'm going around the world speaking from August. I'm speaking in Boom Festival in Portugal.
Okay.
I'm speaking in Berlin. I'm speaking in the UK. I'm speaking in Copenhagen. I'm speaking in Amsterdam, probably Croatia, and I will be using this as the final part of the show.
Okay, Max.
Beautiful.
Thank you, Max. Whatever you need in terms of help to get there and everything, don't hesitate. This is your table. You come here anytime you want.
I mean, people just they want me to speak at Boom. They fly me to Boom, and I speak.
Okay,
and,
great, excellent. But if you need any help, we're here. Okay.
Yeah, no, thanks. But I will, because I really love the way you've put it. So the final section of the presentation will probably be something like, there are two, or you live in two worlds, and I'll explain the whole thing and the pathway to remedy and what the name does.
Yeah,
it's a name game, because it is. It's a name game. The whole thing's a name game.
Max,
it's all word magic. The whole system is word magic. When you understand words, you can change reality.
Yep. Michael.
Yeah, hey, Max. So here's where I look at it, and we got to look at it like from a higher perspective and an inner perspective. Love what you do, brother. Thanks for sharing so much. And what we're looking at here, why are they messing with the water? Come on, man. We know what's up in terms of a spiritual anagogic level. We know what comes out of why would they finally mess with the water? Part of it is to wake people up.
Yeah.
I mean, what else can they do? I can beat you, I can starve you, I can rob you blind, but like you said, the lifeblood of the land there is the water, so they don't have the power over the earth. If you believe she's a living being or know she's a living being like we do, you know that it ain't going to go that far. But you're seeing that how it's coming right up to the fence on so-called both sides. The government pushing it and the people pushing it. So this is coming to a head for a reason for them to open their eyes.
Absolutely. There's opportunity in all of this, and this is what I say: bring it on, because the more you do, the more people you wake up. And now you're attacking the groundwater in this country. It's over. It's over. And what the government's done, this new government, they brought in this budget, which is just unbelievable. It's just ripping everybody off as much as it can. It's the most sociopathic government. They're really putting the people's backs to the wall. They're destroying the groundwater. They're ripping everybody off.
Look at it again, man. It's not them.
People are waking up. It's the best opportunity we've ever had for freedom. So
you got it.
It's great.
Yeah.
It's great that this has come to the table right now when we need it.
We have.
This is a great table. Hey, this is a great table. I can come in here and cut loose and swear and get mad.
Oh yeah, you can say whatever you want here. We don't censor anything. We're trying to take all the charge off the words because they're just sounds.
I have to keep the calm radio voice on for the show,
Not at this table, you don't. You let rip, my friend.
Yeah.
Go ahead, call me a wanker, because I was the wanker to do that to get you here.
Well, you could have just messaged me on Skype.
Yeah, but it wouldn't have been any fun. We wouldn't have had all this beautiful energy get pushed because of it. It's friggin' awesome.
How did she get you on the table, Max?
Okay.
Hey, Richie,
I called me a wanker on air, and there's someone who messages me, some fucking idiot who doesn't leave an address, so I can't email them back, and they send me these condescending remarks all the time. And they said, Kate just called you a wanker on air, and I just thought, fucking hell, now my allies are attacking me. Fuck this fucking truth movement. This isn't a truth movement. This is a battle of fucking egos,
And now you know it isn't. We're just waiting
to
get to hear it.
Came at a bad time. It was particularly a low point in my.
But how do you feel now?
At the right time. Came at the right time.
Yeah, good.
So the government didn't do anything, Max. It's playing out the game in a way. Why are they doing this? Why are they robbing people blind right to their face? Is because this is what's been going on all along.
Sociopaths,
Right, and it wasn't like they were
sociopathic cretins,
And it's been going on for the same. It's the same game. This is what I'm trying to get at. It's just becoming more in people's faces so they can see it.
Yeah,
it's not think that it's getting worse. It's actually the opposite.
Wendy, Wendy, is that you?
It is the opposite, yeah.
Yeah, that's me. I wanted to say, welcome home, Max.
Oh.
Hey, speak to me.
Max has always been home.
He's always been home. We just find a more fun table to sit at. That's all.
That's what I'm talking about. Welcome to our table.
So, Max, when we look at it, we talk about dreaming truth. Because we can talk about the system, the so-called system, and what it's done to us or what it's doing to us. But what we need to do is, as the people who kind of designed that one, if you want to call it the dead poets that put that old program together, we're dreaming the new one. We're putting the new one together, or basically dreaming truth to it's already here, and to make it it's where we live actually. So this is the part that we're focusing on strong, because like you said, Max, it's pretty much been the same old tune describing the system for the last. So what do we need to do with it? We got to remind people what else is here for us, what is truly our living. That's what bring it on home. What you do, Max, and I'm very thankful for that. That's the part we got to realize our power is, and our causal spiritual intent to dream in this new world that's waiting for us.
Exactly. Wendy, you were saying something there. Finish off what you're saying, and Max, jump in here. Wendy.
What I meant was, welcome to the table. Welcome here with us. It's really great to have you here. We love you heaps.
Thanks, sis.
As long as you know that.
Just to get you here, and you put a little fire under everything, and let me do the pissing everybody off. I do that well. So, and also the beautiful intent of going, come on, let's stand together. We got this game. It's I can't even describe it. It's like you've got this perfect answer, and it solves everything. It's the one key that one ring that rules them all. The one key that unlocks everything, and it's so freaking simple. Even a child had to get it, and the children are leading the way.
Hey, Max, did you hear earlier a bunch of kids say aloha and then lakesh to you, with you? If you tune in.
No, I didn't, sorry.
That was me around right before 2 o'clock. I was in kindergarten with the kids, listening to you and listening with you and Kate. They're at the Emerald table, brother. This thing is finished. And all we have to do is remember what is here for us and start living it.
Well, I'm cutting a whole heap of slack, guys. If I'm still standing in truth after the energies he's been putting out all his life, I will then have the right to speak. But, anagogic is the way to go, still.
The ease in we can't do it alone.
Exactly.
And if we all stand together, all the me's, we, upside down, stand together, we win.
It's done.
Yep.
It's done.
Yep.
Hi, Kate.
Hey.
It's Patty from Chicago. How are you?
Patty, how are you doing? Long time no chat. Good.
Yeah, it's been a long time. I'm transitioning still. I'm still, testing the waters and everything. I just had a couple of questions.
Sure.
As far as medical goes, a lot of these children are sick, and if their parents are not using their name, they're asking me questions when I'm talking to them about the Emerald Table. And they're wondering if they need treatment when they go to the hospital. How do they handle that?
The hospital has to do it. They have to do it.
Okay, so they don't need to sign any papers.
Nope.
Is there a confirmation from anybody who has gone to
but don't
level
live in fear. You're the creator. Go there, get whatever service you need, and be done with it. You're not attached to it. They serve you. Remember,
it's when you change your mind to know what I just told you. That's when everything works. This is the part of the game that people are having the hardest trouble with. It's when you change your mind. Literally, your universe changes without question. And this is why this concept, this simple, subtle little concept, has been nearly impossible to get across to people, because we've been trapped in this physical illusion for so long, thinking we're bodies, thinking we're meat sticks. We're not. That's the car. You are the living spirit. Without you, the cocoon just falls to the ground. Everything in the material world is dead. Life here is the true you. That's the spirit, the soul. That's why the soul had to be captured, because these soulless entities, their consciousness without life, have to vampire on us to keep them alive. And the contract is simply the name. You agree to be that, free will choice, you're toast. You'll feed.
No, it didn't. It didn't happen. You fucking believe it happened, so you're making it happen.
Max, how do you say it so clearly where it's just like you say it happens in an instant? Like you say this word. You say this
in a twinkling of an eye.
Yeah, that's it.
You're telling me that Dad knows enough about footballs I can fucking detonate one underneath.
Somebody needs to mute.
I just had to figure it out. It's having some fun. That's the problem with us truthers. We piss everybody off.
Hey, Max, there's a powerhouse right there. The witness. He walked out of the courtroom. The court cleared the courtroom.
A couple of days back.
I don't know if you know his story, but there's a lot of us, man. We all have our own testimonials, you know, and we stood our ground, and we're untouched.
We're raping and pillaging.
And the twin brothers, too.
Oh, yeah, everyone's having a field day with us. We're stopping foreclosures at the gate because the server can't get joined, and that's the joy of this. The only way that the system can get to your stuff is if you contract to be the name and everything registered attached to it. That's how they board the ship, because now they've claimed the material aspect, right? So the minute that you stop them at the gate, and Durbin was on, was it last night before? Last night, I think. And then we had the lawyer thing with the Randy's recording yesterday, which was hilarious. These guys are they're shaking in their boots. There's Derwin, brand new to the table, gets the concept, clicks on the anagogic. Next thing you know, he's like, sorry, no names here, mate, basically. And the server walks away. You can't, see, this is the shield they can't get through. The only way they can get to you, and thus, to your stuff, they have to go through you. No one gets to the Father but through me. Let's play the allegories here. No one gets to your shit until they get you to contract. And that's, I don't care what you've registered. They cannot get to it until they own you by consent of you. It's that simple. So this protects everything.
Yeah.
Keep your stuff.
So, Max, for me, a lot of times I take it off the legal, and it doesn't matter to me. If you're walking down the street and you come across a guy who wants to cause harm to you, this is where we take it to. It's not just when you're dealing with the system. It's the idea that, like you say, psychopaths, violence in this where we live is not the program where that's the separation program, the old paradigm that we've left behind and that we're waking up to. So I hear what you guys are feeling when we talk about the psychopaths that still seem to be gumming up the works.
Hello. Well, they're there. I mean, it's a psychopathic system, and it attracts them, you know. And I've been trying to show people that you're not the name for a long time. It's just finding a concise way to present it to people. A couple of years ago, I was in a position where I knew that if I went into town and there were police around, that I might be attracted by sniffer dogs might have some sort of an interest in me, you know. And it was a squeeze night, and there was about 80 extra police in town. And so I thought, well, I'm going to the pub, you know. So I went in there because I knew that the sniffer dogs would make a beeline for me, and they did. And I was asking the guy if he's a slave trader. I'm asking what he's doing. Is it a request or a demand? And I'm just treating him like a person, you know. And they ended up dragging me out of the hotel, and I'm outside, and I've got 8 police around me, and they're all trying to get jurisdiction over me, and I just wouldn't give it to them. I ended up with half the hotel out there watching and clapping and cheering and all sorts of stuff, and I did it just to explain, just to show to the people, demonstrate to the people that you don't have to do what these guys say. You know what I mean? So you can do it in certain situations, and I'll never give these people my name, but I've still got to walk that line because I just don't want to spend all this time in jail and fighting this on the ground while I've got all these other issues and I need to travel. You know. So
well, the truth is, Max, hang on. When it really clicks, the truth is simply this: when it clicks, you will know that you will never have to fear that again because the shields are up and around you, and it repels these guys. This is the Wolfbane. And the silver bullets to the werewolves, cops, and it is pure friggin' garlic to the vampires. I refer to them as dark principalities, lifeless, soulless entities that are feeding on us. Now, Patty, you had a couple of questions. I want to get those in. Didn't forget. Don't worry. I'm still somewhat of a responsible host, except when I call people wanker. But other than that, I'm okay. Patty, you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. What are your questions?
No, that was the only question, you know,
that was it?
During my transition. I'm trying to get everything worked out before I have a sit-down talk with some people and get them on board. And so, you know, Chicago is gonna shake some tail feathers out here in Chicago. It already has. So I'm kind of scared, but I'm brave. I'm an Aries, and so I'm just getting everything together in detail. That's all I'm doing.
Get your ducks set up, baby steps. Walk it one step at a time. No need to jump across the Grand Canyon if you don't have to. Steve Mahon.
Good evening.
There you are.
Mr. Igan, I'd love to be shaking your hand right now. I guess I actually am in the spiritual, but not the physical. Great work you've done. Followed a lot of your work, listened to a lot of your talks. Love what you're doing, walking both sides. It is that thin line, and my hat's off to you, my friend. You, like I, have been walking through this for many years, and we're all finding new ways to, like you say, explain it in the simplicity. And you can do that, and you can walk into the fray at the same time. You are the warrior, my friend, because you have that ability to walk into the fray with the full support of yourself. And again, I commend you.
Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil.
I find it funny because I'm like,
thank you very much.
Oh, like we said, this is a fictional ID, right? Theirs, or the so-called systems ID. The crown, actually, let's be more specific.
Yeah, the paper C.
Right, the paper C. It's theirs. So I'm like, okay, so again, if we know we're standing in our truth, we know who we are, no one's touching us. Now I have this false ID that they say. It's almost like oh man, it's so funny to me that you can use this now, so-called against the system. Oh, you want me to go use this so-called thing to go teach, go share with the children love and freedom today? Yeah, okay, here I come. Did I have to show any idea? No. But still, through that old tool, like money, Max, I've been sharing for a while. If you still got Monopoly money, please send some to Max. Please send some to some of the guys who are still right here who never sold out. And, oh, man, it's just beautiful.
Hello.
It's a classic, isn't it?
We're not afraid.
It's a classic, isn't it? They tell you in the words as well. You know, paper C, the paper crown. You know, it's all paper.
It's all paper. It's on paper. It's fiction. It's where you write stories.
Yeah.
I'll use it to help.
Once that
I've been trying to tell people for years, if you've got to do this and send in this. No, if you've got to do anything on paper to establish your freedom, how free do you think you are? If anyone's claiming that you're not free, get them to show you proof of claim.
Yeah, that's why I just emailed Concept. Now, someone's trying to get in here. I heard hello a couple of times. Who is that?
Hi, Kate. It's Leah. I was on yesterday.
Leah, how are you?
Hi. I don't have any questions. You basically covered everything for me yesterday, so I am officially, comfortable within myself, within my own soul. But I do want to tell Max that I really, really, really love him, and I love everything that he's doing.
Well, thank you, Don. I appreciate
it. Thank you,
much.
Max.
I told you.
Hello, Kate. You've helped a lot
how are you?
come to this table. It's beautiful.
Yeah, this is Michael from Richmond Hill. Hello, Max. I got your email yesterday. I'm glad that you changed your mind, decided to come on. And I've been enjoying the whole show this evening, and I just wanted to compliment you.
Well, thank you, brother.
Michael and I had a chat earlier today talking about this and wondering what was happening and whatever, and it's probably the weirdest way that someone can hand out the biggest compliment, and that's all this was. That was the intention behind it. Whose goat's big enough to be got to challenge me? And that's,
I don't want to challenge you. I don't want to challenge you.
No. I get that.
I just came back in to tell you that you're a wanker for calling me a wanker. You know.
Oh, I already said I'm a wanker for calling you a wanker. I agree. It's all good. I just happen to dress better for the part. That's all. Michael and I had a great chat today and went over the whole intent and concept of what it was. I've been talking about this for a little while, about looking people's goats. We've been doing this for about a month and a half. The whole idea was to try to, since there's so much literal, quote, truth, unquote, going out in some directions, how do we unify this? Well, if I can piss everybody off, that'll bring them all together, because they're certainly not going to come in trying to figure out what I'm talking about. So let's get them that way. And the one that's strong enough will show. And I got to tell you, Max, you're the only one. And this is going back to the first time I ever did a show with you. This is years ago, and you're the only one that could get me fired. And I knew the passion was there, and no one else has done that. So that's a compliment too. And I thought the only one that is strong enough, and I look at this energetically, is one that can create that resistance enough, because that way you know they're strong enough. I can't put this into words. We got Witness in here now as well. Witness, how are you doing?
Hey guys, what's up? I just want to ask Max one question. I heard him. I mean, I got in a little late, but I heard him talking. He was talking about he's going on some world tour, going to Portugal and all that. How do you get around the country? I mean, how do you get around? You use a passport?
Well, people they pay for it. I mean, if the people from Boom Festival fly me out to Boom and give me accommodation and I speak at the festival.
Okay, now I know where this can go. Let me just make.
Oh, you're asking how I get out of the country?
Yeah,
passports and shit.
Yeah,
well, yeah. I mean, I've got a passport because I've got to walk that line of 1 foot in and 1 foot out. Otherwise, I can't go and educate people.
And that's what I'm talking about. Max knows who he is.
I don't have a choice. If I want to go and talk to the people there, I got to have 1 foot in that system, you know.
Gotcha. Right. Are you using it as a tool?
Yeah, he's
using it as a tool. Once I get into a position where I can tell people that hey, we don't need any of this shit. I mean, like I said, I'll tear it up on national television or international television if I've got the audience to see it happen.
Yeah.
But if I do it before then, I can't get to people. I'm standing here on the hill with a megaphone screaming out to everyone to wake up. I need to be able to go out and get to them and tell them this is going on. So I've got to have 1 foot in the system. I'm just forced to do it because everybody else thinks it's real.
And on that,
Max,
guys,
would you put
guys, just a second.
But I want to clarify. I don't use like donation money or any of that sort of shit for traveling. If people want me to come and speak somewhere, hey, they can get me there, and I'm happy to come and speak. You know.
Yeah, and I really want to clarify this fine line here. Max is using the tools. We've talked about this many times. Those that know how to use the tools in order to get the message out, use those tools. I've already said this. There's only one on this planet that had to go completely without. I've already got that piece. I'm holding that one. That's mine.
I want to talk about these protests going all over the world because Max made a great point in Australia about these guys. It's like protesting, you're actually feeding the beast in a way. And you got these big
contests.
Contests, yeah. So all these people, and this is where, Max, like you were sharing, like if I can go there and get them to understand this concept, you'd see a change in a dime. You'd see a change in a moment. And there's people going into the cities all over the world, again, protesting a government. I'm like, man, you could just tune inside for a second and realize you're the power. It's going to change in a moment. But how do you get that energy where people are focused? I mean, at least they're coming. At least they're standing up.
Exactly.
No, exactly. At least they're showing solidarity. That's the one thing that protests do, is that they show there are other people who think the same way you do, but you don't need to be... I mean, it's a con. It's fiction. Give it the contest. Contest their ability to do what they're doing. And what believes you have a right of ownership over me? This vessel that I inhabit.
It's a test.
This is what I've been trying to share with people. You know, it's a con, so contest the legislation. If you're protesting it, you're doing so because you already think it's real. It's not.
Right.
Now, I've got to be a radio host for a second here. I've got to be a real radio host. We got 13 minutes to roll over here. I'm not sure how much time Max has. We'll roll on as long as he wants or as little. It doesn't matter. I'll keep it rolling anyway. But we're going to roll over in 13 minutes. There is room for 3 people on the board. So if you want to call in, you can call in at 661-467-2401. And, of course, you can Skype in. BTR Listener 058, I think, is what Clarity sent me. Let me just double-check that. Yes, BTR Listener 058. Put that in your contacts. Hit the search, and then as soon as it shows up, right-click it, hit call. That'll bring you right to the board. Or you can Skype in through the Blog Talk page by hitting the button and following the bouncing ball. That being said, when you're on the board, all you have to do is hit 1 on the dial pad on your phone and open up the dial pad on Skype and hit 1 there. Works the same way. And with that, a great big thank you to Paul Giovanni at criticalmassradio.co.uk and the crew involved. That includes all of you that sit at this table and all the tables every night. We do this together, and remember, everything on My site, Critical Mass Radio, everything is free to all. If you feel like helping out, criticalmassradio.co.uk. If you have the urge, please feel free, but don't feel obligated. There is no obligation because that is a debt, and there is no debt here. So that being said, let's carry on. You got about 12 minutes to get in here, and there is room. Oh, we got no more room unless a call drops out. So there you go.
Yeah, love conquers all.
Okay. Yeah, I had a thought.
Hey, Max,
yeah.
What I was going to. Go ahead.
Grab the feather.
Bindi, go ahead.
Okay, I got it. Bindi, go ahead.
Yeah,
ladies first.
I had a thought. Max is saying if I had a platform, but I think you're high profile enough. If you were to just take every document you've got where your fraudulent persona is on the corporation, the dead corpse, and start ripping it up and making home vids or whatever, or just your podcast, which you would usually do, that would make such a wave. That would go viral all over Oz, I guarantee you, in hours, in days and months. And then you already are the platform you need to be, mate. You don't need more.
Yeah, you're such a small country there, microcosm.
That is what's going to make the wave go, not someone else trying to wake someone else up. You do it.
You know what we need to do, guys? Just took a little thought here. We need to have a video of how to destroy your fake legal identity. And just do a video of, okay, first thing you need to do with a driver's license is you hold it in the left hand. Remember the left hand, and take the scissors and cut a die, and literally make a parody of shredding passports, licenses, birth certificates. Well, the birth certificate, you can hang on to that. I just wrote proof of fraud on it, and that was my intent to the universe. So I knew it was fraud, and that's what. When you do that to your birth certificate, just write proof of fraud on it. Your soul contract is toast. It's done. It's finished. Just like that.
How about
that's perfect.
Yeah.
It's all about intention here. It's a mental universe, guys. Put your intent out there. If you think it, wait a minute. It's well, if my soul is attached to this and I know it's fraud, well, I'm just going to make sure it knows it's fraud and just write fraud on it. There's your seal of disapproval.
Yeah. Hey, I just want to grab the feather real quick just to say there's two things I'm going to do. This summer I'm going to drive up there, and what I see is we're all doing our part. You know, we're all standing in truth, and that's what it is that each and every one of us want to happen, is for that to prevail, you know. And it is. That's the thing when they say we're the ones we've been waiting for, we're the chosen ones. The thing is what we did is we chose. That's what made us the chosen one, is we chose. Max, I'm sitting in a car right now. I got Superman plates on the back of my car. Cops drive by my house and they wave to me. I haven't said this yet on the table. 2 weeks ago, they wave to me. They slow down, and I know I'm untouchable. You know, the next thing I'm going to do, okay, is I'm going to drive up to Canada and I'm going to drive right through that friggin' border. And if I make my way over to Kate, you know, maybe that's when people can start to realize the power that we wield. Because each consciousness, when it does its part, it fuels the other parts of us that are standing in that truth. You know, we do this together, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to try to get I'm going to get on Skype eventually and start talking with people and try to get a group of us to go down there and show them that we mean business, because that's what I do. I mean, I'm in the car by myself. I drive around, and I agree with you, Max. A lot of people are asleep. My family's asleep. They're slowly starting to get it, and I don't. And that's the thing, is that I just share with them and show them. You know, I'm being an example. You know, my cousin and sister just came down to my little niece's birthday, and they're all in the parking lot with and here's my car sitting here. They didn't believe me, you know. People that have been over, when they saw me doing it, they just can't grasp it. It's just so beyond the norm of what everybody's been conditioned to be and do, that it's just something that's is unacceptable. They just can't accept it in their mind as if it's real, but it is. You see, because we're the ones that created this fictional land to begin with. So this contest, this is kind of what it is we're in this contest right now, and as each and every one of us stands in our truth, we pass this contest. You see, I've passed. Many of us have passed. You've passed with the many experiences you've had with the so-called law, You know, and as each and every one of us begins to awaken into this and be an example and stand in that truth, you're literally untouchable. You know, so I'm going to be heading up to Canada within July and make my way through that friggin' border with as many people who want to come with me, you know.
Looking forward to it, and we'll get you taken care of, no problem at all. And Steve was going to jump in, so we'll get Steve in there. And more than anything else, Max, all I want tonight for you is to sit back and have all this energy and power flow to you. You need to know you've got typically we're over 1 million listeners a night. Blog Talk won't show that because they're afraid of it going front page, but they screwed up a couple of times and let the real numbers be shown. It's pretty funny, actually. But anyway, go ahead, Stevie.
Well, thank you. Well, what I was going to say is, you know, we're all moving down this path, and we're all doing things individually, collectively, and I just wanted to bring up the point for those of you that know what Max is about and who he is and who he knows he is. That's great. For those that don't, and for those that have maybe just recently realized what the name and the registrar is all about and trying to figure out how to be the perfect non-registrar, there's those of us that move in certain areas like Max that use the registrar as a tool. They are not confined to it. They are not contracted to it. But like Max says so eloquently, for him to move freely to reach the people at this point in the game, he is the warrior who has the ability to see both sides of the coin and not fear either one and move his own direction. So again, I just commend you, Max, and thank you for coming to the table and explaining to people your position.
Yeah, absolutely. That's exactly the clarification. Hey, who we got?
Hi, this is Leah again. I had one question for Max. How would someone go about getting a car back that was taken from their possession?
Well, sorry, I missed a little bit of dropout there. Could you repeat that?
Okay. How does someone go about getting their property back, their car, after, you know, the car being impounded by the state police?
Well, that's a good question. I don't know. I've never had to deal with it, actually.
I was going to jump in on this one. Leah, this is... Hey, listen, I got a house and car and truck and countless other things sitting waiting for me to go. And that's the path I'm taking right now, and I've got the angle that I think I know I'm going to use now, and it's about putting the intent out. Say that for another night, but the bottom line is this: when something has been taken, it's been stolen. I don't care. They can call it impounded or whatever. It's stolen. Okay. So what I recommend to you, obviously there must be a case file or something.
Well, yes.
Okay. Well, perhaps sit down and in your own words. I'm not sure how far along you are in doing that, but in your own words, just let them know that you know that the name is the legal name is a fraud. It was assumed and presumed that it was you, where you know it's not. If you've got a copy of the birth certificate, just take a photocopy of it, because that's all you'll ever get anyway, are copies. And you can mark that with fraud and stuff. Or if you want to get a hold of me direct, maybe we can talk about some sort of strategy. But basically what this is, it's not going to be the paper that gets your car. It's going to be you. The intent and the power of the words that you put out. It's not the paper. Remember this, guys. Babylon Has Fallen, the document, is just a piece of paper. But when you read it, what you're doing is you're filling your own heart with the intent of knowing what it is. You're the gunpowder. The paper and the words on it are empty.
I was telling Kate last night what happened. You know how they took the car, and I didn't give them identification or anything, so officer got pissed off, and he like literally grabbed me out of my car, and then he started searching my car. I didn't consent to anything. I didn't give him a name or anything. He got upset, and they arrested me.
Leah, one question I wanted to ask you last night. Do you have registered plates on that car?
There were registered plates, but they weren't good. they were like they're not registered. They're just some plates that were on the car, and they belonged to an ex-boyfriend of mine, and I didn't take them off. But there were no contracts. Like I had no registration, insurance, any of that.
That's why they took the car. Then it's not yours. It wasn't registered to you. That's the only loophole they have.
You got a VIN in it?
But what I'm saying is, the car.
Hey, hang on, guys. Just a sec. Let's not get. Hang on, Leah. Just hang on.
Okay.
Let's not get technical here. You got to see where the thread of connection to the sole contract is. So it's not with you. The car is registered to another name. That's the reason they grabbed it. They couldn't have grabbed it otherwise.
So what I'm saying is, if the car had, was registered to the name on the birth certificate that I used, but with different tags that belong to somebody else, how does that work?
Well, again, you see, I'm looking at an anagogic perspective here, not a literal, right? So get out of the literal quick, because you need to see where you see your old boyfriend obviously still has a legal name. So they're not dealing with what you think to be your car. As soon as they ran the plates on it, then they'd have that name. It had nothing to do with you. They didn't steal your car. They stole his.
Yeah.
So, but that's something that needs to be clarified. Did your ex-boyfriend give the car to you?
No, the car was my car. I just used his tags just to get over the bridge because I told him what I was doing, and he said, just put my tag because I don't want you to get arrested. I said, I don't care. I know who I am. It doesn't matter. Because I had like a board tag with my name, my initials, and he put it on the car and said, these tags are no good, but maybe you can just drive over the bridge with them.
Well, they were good enough to create joinder with your ex-boyfriend or boyfriend, whatever the case may be. You would have been better off just not having anything on it at all.
Yeah, that was my first. That was.
Or I'll send you some Wonder Woman novelty plates there. Those work.
Hey, last night she said she had a sovereign ID. Didn't she?
Yeah, we covered that in great detail last night about how useless any form of ID is and notaries and all the rest of it. It's all garbage. It's all. If you need a piece of paper to prove to someone who you are, you're psychotic. If they can't see you standing in front of you, hearing you, talking to them, they're psychotic. Okay, so let's get out of the psychosis here.
That's what Max was saying, that they're on steroids and stuff, and they really don't care. Sometimes
it's got nothing, it's got nothing to do with that. It's about knowing who you are. This is what we're getting. See,
but that's what I'm saying. Like right before we could get into anything, they just got upset and literally snatched me out of my car. It's just like.
Yeah, but
that was the case to where they didn't care.
You're getting crucified. That's the truth.
Yeah, you're getting crucified through the truth. And what you need to do right now, hon, is not defend this because we know what's happened.
Okay.
What you need to do is accept it and go, now I get it. You won't get me on that one again because I know even more who I am. Hon, this cost me my family, my home, and everything else. I did my crying fits and all the rest of it, 2 years ago. Okay, I haven't seen my kids in 2 years.
But Kate, let me just say this real quick: is that universal truth? You see, when you stand in it wholeheartedly,
it stands with you.
It stands with you. If you're not standing in it,
yeah, you won't know, Richie. I'm going to keep jumping in just for a sec because this is such an important point. You won't know this until you know it, and when you're defending anything in the literal at all. As to, I know the system's in dishonor. Max and I and everybody agrees they're a bunch of psychopaths. You can't reason with a psychopath. But what you can do is become sane yourself, put your own shields up. And nothing can get through it. And this is the part that people are going to have the hardest time to believe. It shows up perfectly at the end of Celestine Prophecies. It's when you doubt it is when the shields drop. I don't doubt. That's Piscean. I'm in the age of Aquarius. I left Piscean, I believe, I don't believe, to the I know or I don't know. So choose to know something and put everything you thought you believed before in the garbage where it belongs. Look at why things happened. Yeah, I don't know about you, but stealing someone's home is not a good thing. I get it. What do we need to do to remedy that? And what's happened over the last fairly long while now are people, as a result of what we have uncovered and the costs that we have been through, the way Prometheus bled, is we are stopping people from having their homes and children and everything else stolen before this happens. And that's what's happening now. This tsunami is moving ahead. So, suck it up. You play your part and just keep pushing forward. Stand in the truth, and the meek do inherit the earth. Remember, humility is the key to this game.
We've been tricked and fooled into thinking that we are not God. That's what's happened. We are not the universal truth. And do you think? This is what we've been fooled and tricked into believing, that we are not the universal whole of everything, right? So being that, knowing that, you gain control over these fictional characters who don't know who the hell they are. So universal truth, I'm an eternal being. I have unlimited patience. I have unlimited time. I have unlimited knowledge. I have unlimited ability and courage to stand in that forever. You see? So when I stand in that and I face a fictional being who doesn't have a clue, most likely, to who they are, they're going to resonate. The truest part of who and what it is they are will inevitably see it if they don't see it at that moment. But universal truth has your back because you are that.
100% of the time. Well, you heard me on
Lakesh.
Yes, you guys heard me live on air running 3 cops off. And they couldn't even touch their old expired. They couldn't come near the car. You should have seen the handshake and the flashlight waving where they're used to a VIN number and they're looking around the car and they couldn't come within a foot of the car. I wish I had a video of the panic that was happening with these monkeys that night. This is what shorts out the program. I told them it's not in your dead by consent jurisdiction. Bye-bye. Have a nice night, and I wish you no harm. See you later. And I saw them in the rear view for a little while. 2 of them just stand there talking and fidgeting around. I can only imagine the stand-down order and the short circuits that went off in these monkeys' heads. It was fun.
The tow truck drove off, right?
Oh, I came in, pulled in the parking lot, and drove straight back out again. They couldn't come near me. This is the power of truth. It takes entire world systems down. It's all hinged. The master key is the name. We know this. Now, what Max is doing is make it possible for him to travel physically. My role is easy. I go through the ether. That's the Gemini. That's my sign. That's what I do. So my mission, and quite frankly, I've punched out the system enough. I'm okay. Okay? The word is out. Babylon has fallen. We've got it down to the master key. All we need to do now is plant the seeds and let them grow. Plant it, walk away. Stop messing with the ground. Put the seed in the ground, cover it up, and go thank you and walk away. Nature will take its course from there. No effort required. It's really easy.
And I just want to say, too, Max, I've listened to you for the last couple of years, and when I hear your voice, it's the same way I've heard Kate's voice, or we hear Santo's voice, or anyone at this table when they speak and they're standing in that universal God being. You hear that, and we hear that in you. That's why Kate brought you to the table or sent out the message. The frequencies, our frequencies and energies are coming together. And you, the voice that I listen to, and you definitely, you're God. You are that universal consciousness. You know that. And when I hear your voice, if I heard you speaking, coming together the way Kate and all of us here, how we know it's a fiction, how we're bringing the name game together and standing in that, we're moving to another level of consciousness, and standing in that. That's what's happening here. And and it can be scary, perhaps at times. It's not for me anymore. It's just so friggin' blunt, blatant, and it's comical. I find myself laughing and cracking up half the time, So, but anyways, definitely your voice, Max. Many people resonate to it, and you would definitely be.
Okay, Richie, let him answer, will you? I got to muzzle you or what?
Yeah. Well, thanks, really. Thanks for the kind words. It's nice to know the words help. I get frustrated. I give the politicians a hard time. I've got no problem calling these people names. It keeps me sane. I have to insult them because it's the only thing they keep saying, So I try to do it nicely.
Yeah, well, you should hear what I call them.
Oh, you know, no, I don't have any fear of any of this, but I get very weary. I get really weary of the personal attacks from people. I get really weary of the struggle. I live on my own. I live on my own in a shed. I mean, it's I live in a nice. It's a nice property I live on. I've got people around, but it's a pretty solitary life. I've been on my own for a long time, and I'm getting old, and I'm getting weary.
You're getting better, baby.
It does get to me sometimes. It really does. It gets to me sometimes, man. I think about ending the show. I think about
Well, it ain't going to happen because I know that voice that happens in your head, same one in mine. You get down and you go, I'll quit while I'm in it, grow a pair, stand up and get on with it, bitch. And I do. And there's nothing can stop you, nothing can stop me, because we can't allow it. We were built to stand a post. That's what this table is for. And anytime you need a nice big charge up of here's some energy, you show up at your home here. This is what this table is all about. All are welcome here. I just had somebody ask me about the music and download stuff, or where can they buy it. I don't do commerce. I don't do copyright. I don't do fiction. Everything that is created is a co-creation of my experience with all of you. I lay no claim to anything in that co-creation. Why would I want that? So everything's free on the site. Help yourself, knock yourself out. Universe provides, and it's all good. Really?
Yeah, same with the Crow House too. That's why I don't charge for anything. I never have. I'm trying to point out to people money's fiction. Money's simply the glue that holds the corporate mechanism together. That's all it is.
It's the carrot.
What it does is it provides scarcity for it. That's all it does. Put in a state of scarcity, puts a barrier of paper between you and the abundance of the planet. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Creates a fear of lack. But Max, coming back to your voice, mate, have you realised that when you speak, you literally get people's brain into alpha? Therefore, the program starts to crumble anyway, no matter what you're saying. The timbre in French of your voice is alpha. So keep talking, mate.
No, that's amazing.
Yeah, that was well put.
It's amazing that happens. I mean, people tell me I have this hypnotic voice. That's one of the things Arthur Christian tries to use against me. He says he uses that hypnotic voice. There's some treatment that he uses. Actually, it's my voice. Sorry about that,
Yeah, I'm sure when Arthur gets his head out of his ass, he'll actually be able to see for who you truly are. But until that happens, oh well.
Keep saying.
But it's interesting that you would say that. I didn't. It's interesting you would say that, though, that it puts you into alpha mode. I didn't realise that. I mean, and even when I do a lot of the shows, it's almost like channeling. It's almost like because sometimes I've got to listen to them back to even know what I was talking about,
Yeah, the download.
Sometimes they're very personal. Sometimes they're a bit self-indulgent. This week's show is a bit self-indulgent. I recorded it yesterday. I was feeling pretty sorry for myself at the time. But I get to share that with you guys, So I get to share that with the listeners. The listeners get all my emotional baggage because I don't really have too many other people to share it with. But hey, it's good too because for people who think I'm some guru or something, it shows that no, look, I'm human. I got feelings too. I fuck up. I have off days, I have times when I'm not up to par, and I need the support of people around me. And I have the support a lot of the time. I just don't have people around me. So It does get hard sometimes. It's good for people to know that because that's one of the main points of what I've tried to do with everything I've done is to show people that I'm not anything special. I'm not some guru. I'm the same as you. That's the point. You don't have to be somebody to make a difference. All you have to do is to be you. That's the point. That's why I never wanted my face to go out there. I wanted me to just be a faceless on the airwaves. So there was no fame. There was no nothing. This is just this voice. You don't even know who it is. That's what it was supposed to be. It was just a message that people needed. So, yeah, that was the point. So, but thank you for the kind words and thank you for the support. And, it's really, I do need it sometimes. I do really need the supportive emails that you all send, and thank you.
Yeah. Well, next time you're on the black side of the dark stump, remember the table and come and recharge here. Everybody's allowed to
That's why we come here.
Yeah.
We're backing you.
We know the place you're talking about.
Yeah, we all walk a lonely road. So now we just walk that lonely road together. That's all.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
We get it. It's a pain in the ass, but someone's got to do it, and we're built to do it. So let's get it done, shall we? That's why we came here.
Yeah, that's
what it's all about. I think that all the people that are here doing this actually did come here to do I think this is the most pivotal time in history. This is the first chance in history that we've actually had an opportunity for freedom, because it's the first time we've actually known what it looks like. Huh?
Oh, agreed. Now, I've got 480 in here and 757.
Konnichiwa.
Hey, how are you? There you are. This man having
what
a
up,
go.
everybody?
How are you?
Hey, Max. Glad Max is at the table. That's pretty epic that this is all joining up together. And just wanted real quick, he said something about he's getting old. Well, I'm 38 and had a 25-year bike riding career where I put my hands in the medical doctors for a while, was on pain pills for 5 years, and got off all that, and then found distilled waters in Andrew Weber Norton. And I'm already, within 5 months, I've erased about 60% of my arthritis, and I'm already riding my bike again with my son a couple nights a week. And I just hope that he knows about distilled water's benefits, because his power needs to stay around a long time. And also wanted to thank the lady that used to be the attendance person. Pretty sure Diana. She just pissed me off so much. It's deep down inside of my soul from my childhood that I can't believe it, and I think I just found a new focus. And because I'm a victim of one of those statistics and goddamn bond ticket, whatever you want to call it. And I used to be, at least. I'm a recovering ADD addict and nameaholic and the whole nine. But just wanted to thank her, too, because hearing that, and I already knew it, but hearing it the way she presented it really finalized it. And just loving the energy tonight, guys, and glad we got a heavy hitter around. So thank you all, and I'm going to ride my bike.
Thank you. And hey guys, how do we do?
Love you.
You too. How do we do this? We do it together. And pay attention to what he just said there, Max. Nice to have a heavy hitter at the table. That's why you're here. That's why I did the call out. I didn't care how it was going to get anyone's attention. That was the whole point of it. We need the heavy hitters. We need you. And there's others that should be here but just don't have the balls to do it yet, so that's okay. Nice to know that you do. And I'm not blowing sunshine. I'm just stating a fact. This is all intuitive.
Okay.
I already knew this. Go ahead, Michael.
Yeah. Hey, Max. I've been got a new show, Gaia Sophia Dreaming, since Equinox, and I've been emailing you for 2 months and saying anytime you want to come on and share, please do. It's at 4 a.m. in the Hawaii Dream Time from the core here with Gaia Sophia. And brother, much love, much aloha, man.
Whereabouts have you been sending the emails to, brother?
Post them where I can, through Pro House, and I know how you is because you talk about you got a lot. So
I get a lot on that. Yeah.
We're just tuning in the heart, and that's what it's all about, Max, and that's why we're all here and sharing. It's the heart, bro.
Yeah, absolutely.
And this is where we're all connected.
I don't feel like a heavy hitter a lot of the time. Sometimes you wonder how many people listen. But I know YouTube messes with all my view count, and I've seen them drop 3,000 views an hour off some of my clips.
That's okay. The contract, once sent, is already deemed contract. Because if it goes out, it's out, and there's no. That's what I mean. I don't send affidavits. I don't send permission forms. I send contracts, and they can't be rebutted.
Exactly. So I don't know. I wonder if people do listen, but I think a lot of people are just at different stages of awareness. People find out different things, and they get tunnel vision, and they go down this little tunnel, and they get a piece of the puzzle. Very often they think it's the whole puzzle, but it's usually just a piece. And you can't really judge these people and say, oh, these people are shills, or they're gutless, or they're brain dead, or whatever. Sometimes they're just misinformed. They've got their little piece, and they've gone down there, and they're at that particular stage of awareness. And, so everybody's got a piece, And I think that we're often too judgmental on people who don't see our opinion. They're just at different stages of awareness, People who don't have our opinion, and no one's ever going to see things exactly the same as you, because you're unique. You're an absolutely unique expression of creation. going to be you, and no one can be you, and no one will ever have that perspective the same as you. So we need to respect that in others as well, I think. So, but if we can get this information out to people and walk in our truth, then that's the best thing you can do. That's what I've been saying to people. Create ripples in your community, be a shining light, walk in your own truth, be a pleasure to be around, share with the people around you. That's how you make the change. You've got to be the change you want to see and walk it,
Yeah, we're shooting for that uniqueness. That's right. Discovering that within each other, being cyborgs, and absolutely, yeah. And be an example.
Well, there's a lot of rock starishness in this whole truth movement as well. People get a little bit of notoriety, and egos kick in a little bit sometimes, and they start sort of, feeling like a bit of a rock star, and feeling like a bit of a guru, and feeling like a bit of an authority on things. I mean, the only thing I'm an authority on is me. That's the only thing I can tell you about better than anybody else. The rest of it, I'm still figuring it out like everybody else. So, and it's important that when you listen to anybody to understand that what you're hearing is their opinion and their perspective on the information that they've had available to them. So you can't be too harsh on what people are doing. And if you approach people in the right way and be a shining light and lead by example and ask the right questions and pose the right questions, then I think you can find your way through all of this stuff. I think that's what will help wake a lot of people up. Because everybody's got a piece of the puzzle, Everyone's got a piece of the puzzle. And we need self-governance, but we're a long way from it because we need re-education for people who are going to be spiritually evolved enough to be able to deal with self-governance, So we need some sort of transitional period. I don't know what it'll be, but
twinkling of an eye.
Back to self-governance. I think that's what that's what I say. If everybody gets it, if everybody actually got it and figured out who they were right now, we could change the world in 3 seconds. I've been saying this for 6 years. We could, twinkling of an eye, absolutely do it.
Yeah.
But it's getting the information to people in a manner that they can understand. So that's why I believe you've got to piggyback the system. That's why I'm trying to piggyback this off this coal seam gas battle, because that's something that people can understand and it's got their attention. So now we can maybe try to piggyback it onto this and hey guys, while you're looking at this, have a look at this. What do you think about that? And suddenly it's game over, game set and match, checkmate. So, but you've got to get in a position where you can do that and reach as many of the sleeping drones as possible, because I love them. I want to bring them with us. And there's strength in numbers. I mean, we need as many people awake as possible. It'd be a good thing. So, Yeah.
No, you're right. And that's why bringing people like you, see, this is the thing. I look at, take, for example, Santo Bonacci. Guy's got some beautiful knowledge and information, and has got one huge following. And to hear him reverting back to promissory notes and the rest of that shite was let's just say it was a complete shock. But I understand where it comes from, and it's simply out of fear. I get it, and it's okay. But
it is. It was disappointing, and I love Santos. I saw him when I was down in Melbourne, and he's a lovely man. Yeah, but it was disappointing. I told him that there's only 2 words, and if you're unique, you're you, you're living flesh, and if they want to apply their legal system to you, you can tell them there's only 2 words in their legal system that you're even concerned with, and that's sui generis, which shows that this is what you are. You're unique. That's all they need to know about you as far as their system goes. So, and if they want proof of that, we can prove sui generis. Here I am. I mean, it's another one of me. Take my fingerprints. Can you identify me by that? There you go. I'm sui generis according to your own legal system. So fuck off. Yeah,
exactly.
Who are you people?
Actually, I thought that was the 2 words we were going to say, not the sui generis. I was going to say, or generous. I was just going to say, fuck you, and that works for me.
Well, yeah, it does. It works for me too. But if they need something that their little left brain legal system needs them to understand, okay, it's sui generis. You see that? That's me. Okay, bye-bye. I can't be subject to the laws of my peers because I have no peers. Who are you people? There's no. How can I have peers? There's only one of me. I'm completely and utterly unique. And if you're denying that, if you're denying that I'm unique, well, hey, what do you just leave? You identify people by your fingerprints. Well, guess what? That means I'm unique. Bye.
I have, hey Max, I have one pier. I park my ship at my pier, no other.
Exactly. So that's what I was saying to Santos. Those two words, if you want to enter into their legal system, just say those two words to them and understand that you're fresh and walk away. They can't touch you if you know who you are. And I was disappointed to went down the path of a promissory note. It'll be interesting to see how it pans out.
I have this idea, and I think you might think it's a good one. I figure we might as well just take the whole system down before July 1st. That way, he doesn't have to worry about it.
Well, that'd be good.
Yeah, that'll work for you.
Well, maybe we can do that. We can do that in this country with this coal seam gas thing.
Okay.
So, that
sounds like a fun game. I'll play.
I think about that.
It's all happening. Like people are right on the cusp with that.
Yeah. When there's only 26 million. It's so small.
26 million people.
Okay,
26
guys.
million people in the country. Yeah, it's a small population. Unfortunately, it's spread out over a very, very big area. But it's only a small population. But the thing is that with the threat to groundwater that this industry poses, everybody's got their attention on the government. And because we just had this win at Bentley, and I'll tell you, it was 6 days after that letter was sent. And they're trying to say it for all sorts of reasons, but it wasn't. It was because we said, hey, show us the studies or we're going to dismiss you. And it put the wind up them. Absolutely.
And here's the best part. Yeah. And once you get their attention, they go, and guess what? What else the government's not telling you is your legal name make you a slave. And you don't
Exactly. So I'm going down and doing workshops with all of these, and there's huge groups here in Australia that are attacking this coal seam gas industry, and they've changed their tactic, and now they're using the tactic that I outlined for you earlier when I said the body of that letter that they wrote, which is kind of half in their system and half out of it again. You know what I mean? You're stepping above it, but you're using their legal system against them because they're in it. And it's a double-edged sword. If they want to immerse themselves in that system, well, fine, I'll use it against you, but you're my employee. You're a public trustee, so show cause. Show cause why we shouldn't hold you in abusive office for even posing anything that may threaten the national security of this nation, which is a threat to groundwater. Groundwater is what gives life to this nation. So, okay, we'll use your system against you. Let's call national security on this. And who's breaching national security? It's the government. So let's step above the whole thing and put you people back where you belong. And by the way, what is this whole fictional slavery system that you're running here as well? And this is the sort of stuff that I'm teaching these people who are doing these gas protests. This is the tactic that they're now taking. So, this is I said 3 years ago or 2 years ago that coal seam gas is going to be the issue that turns the tide in this country, and it's going to be what wakes these people up. And with what you've just brought to the table, Kate, you've given me this little concise little, here it is, here's the memo. Get the memo, folks. And now we can add this to the pot, and we can step above the whole damn thing.
Oh, exactly, and as subtle as you can be with it. Here's the anagogic of what's going on with the water issue, right? Water is the mystical anagogic for truth. So what we're dealing with here is the poisoning of the truth that's going to awaken the people that will give them the truth to get everything crushed. So it's beautiful. I mean, it's playing out on such a wonderful spiritual causal level, and to see the effect. That's why, for me, I have to define the reality, not literally, but what it means from a spiritual cause perspective. And that's what it is. You've got where you are right now is they're trying to poison the truth, and that's what's waking the spirit up. That's what's getting everyone fired up. And it's a common unity, and of course water. You kind of need that to live. It's definitely going to get people's attention. And once the door's open, by the way,
It's so good. It's actually so good that I got contacted by the people from the blockade to come and do a workshop with them. So they want this information. It's all just coming together. It's all just coming together because they're not having any success. They're trying to use this legal system. I've been telling them for months on air that it's not going to work. There's no remedy in the parameters of the system. It's not designed to give you remedy. That's the last thing it's going to do.
Oh, you're going to play.
You talk to the politicians.
If we dispel the name fraud,
asking them to be sane. You're talking just asking them to be sane. They're the ones who put the legislation in place, which is causing all of the bullshit in the first place.
Well, here it is.
Why are you expecting any sanity from them?
Yeah, you want to play a game. You want to play a game with someone that's writing the rules as they go.
Yeah, exactly. You're only going to get sanity when you discover who you are and step above the fiction. That's it. That's the only way out. So
we dispel the name fraud.
So it's beautiful. It's beautiful what you've done.
Yeah.
It's beautiful what you've done. It really is, Kate.
Mirror. Go ahead.
Am I on?
You're on.
Okay. Yeah, I just I printed out the brochure, Kate, and I'm handing it out to all my neighbors and everyone I know that I might think wake up since name fraud.
Perfect. Plant the seed, walk away.
You know, it's pretty easy to get the whole country, 23 million. Mark has it in like this on a banknote, on a little pamphlet, like 3D. What was that size, Mark? I mean, like a small little, and it has the whole Babylon is fallen. I mean, this is what we talk about. This could it's so easily going to be in everyone's awareness.
If you dispel the name fraud, Max, everything else, the Australian government, gone. The gas thing, then, gone.
Yeah, see, let me just grab the feather here real quick. See, the name thing, see, that's why we cherry pick, and I cherry pick. That's how I've broken down protocol. Kate's broken down the name, non-applicable me. That's the thing too that maybe you could cherry pick with too, Max, is bringing the because name NA not applicable in me.
Don't complicate it, Richie.
It's not complicated. We're
no, you're complicating
right. It's very simple. It's a name, NAME.
Yeah,
magnetic
no
electric.
Game.
Okay, let me finish now. I got the feather. I'll give the feather right back to you, brother.
Okay.
All right. So not applicable me. Congress, as you know, Max, when they go into their little legislating, the law, writing their fictional laws, is they say yay for yes and nay for no. So NA, no magnetic electric. See what I'm saying? These guys are wizards. They're wizards.
You see it reflected in his daughter and what's been going on of late. It's just it is literally a play-by-play of the shields going up and the system coming down. And you got to get really big in your thinking on this. Stop thinking local, start thinking universal. Just waiting for the synopsis to load up here. Okay, the beginning. I don't have the first excerpt, but how this began was White challenged her teacher in terms of why did we come to school, and everything I need to know I can Google, right? and she's right. That's the thing. Really, Google made every teacher's job obsolete, quite frankly. Well, see, that's a problem in the system, though. You can't control slaves. You can't condition beautiful young minds into autonomic robots with military roll call every morning, getting them used to the 9-to-5 stretch, where instead of just being a slave all day and playing at some points, you get to go to work and be the same slave, just transplanted into a different, what is it, gulag, Stalag 13, if you will. But anyway, as it turns out, the teacher was a little miffed, and White challenged to say, well, how tough could it be to teach? And the teacher offered up, well, I'm going to let you teach next week, thinking that this would, ego this little girl down. Not a chance. She said, okay. And we had a couple of posts regarding what she wanted to do, and very profound stuff in terms of listening to classical music and whatnot at low levels, and finding out what the kids want to learn, and going outside. And I don't want to mess it up. I'm going to find the excerpt, and I will read it at some point. I have read it already, but very profound stuff, if you recall. And the answer to this rebellion from this 7-year-old was, okay, well, telling her to teach for a week didn't scare her, so let's expel her for 2, because she wouldn't answer to her name. And because she knows who she is. So lo and behold, the following Friday, this would be Friday past, White's classmates, now remember, White's expelled at this point, White's classmates refused to answer to their names, which puts the system, remember, this is anagogic. These things are happening at an exponential level now, so that what you might deem to be little effects or little causes are actually huge, and you're starting to see the layers of the system and power just getting stripped away here. So what happened then was, of course, the teacher panics, and the headmistress decides she's going to have a meeting on the following Monday. So here's what we got. Or actually, the weekend before that, White was on her way to a birthday party. She was supposed to get picked up by her mom, and lo and behold, her was a little bit late. That's Wayne's ex. to pick her up, and on her way to the party, she ended up getting pulled over for speeding. And what happened? This is my new favorite line. I mean, guys, if a 7-year-old can do it, why can't you? I ran off 3 OPP. No, you know me. I got no ID. High mark in the system. Profile. Expired plates, just to make sure they know from now on who this is. And they're dead. Dead relatives. Remember, P becomes Ro into the R. I'm not related to the dead thing. No VINs in the car, no ID, nothing. And that I did live on the air March 14th for everyone's benefit if you want to hear that. Starts around, I think around a 24-minute. You might want to start at 20 minutes and go from there. I know the audio is a bit weak as far as what the Goonies were saying, but you get a pretty good idea. Bottom line is, one marked car up first and batted that one down. And, of course, 2 more guys. That was a lady. 2 more guys show up in an unmarked. And they were playing try to get you into jurisdiction, dead by consent, mark of the beast, Narmer, pallet, curse attachment. So the werewolves and the vampires can feed on me. Not a chance. Sorry, I'm not in your world. Anyway, so White's mom gets pulled over and in the school without the name. Then he looked at White, gave her a smile, and got in his car, went home. And one of White's dad's friends phoned me and asked me what was going on. So he was in the meeting at this time, remember this. So I told him. So he went up to the officer that was in the meeting and said to him, "Are you going to arrest her if she says White's name?" And he said, "Yes, I will." So just waiting to see what got said in the meeting. I'll let you know as soon as I do. And the saga of the White Tiger continues. And here is, now listen very closely, guys, because we've been talking about this for a very long time, and we figured it out on the spiritual side. Everyone's still fighting on the physical, and we got past that. And we proved everything, how it was attached spiritually and anagogically, if you will, the mystical attachments. Excuse me. So here's the outcome. White's friend's dad just called in on his way to work and told me what got said in the meeting. He said the headmistress would not say White's name, and he tried to get her to say it, but he tried to get her to say it, but she would not say it. She was just saying that the kids were just trying to get sent home from school, like they knew this, and we need them to answer their name so we know that they are here. Have a look around the room, and do you not know the kids in your class by now? Ooh, that's scary. And no one was, to make sure that no one was taking them away. Of course, the system loves to go right to fear porn. And, of course, they'll appeal to your lack of comfort ego as well. And if we have to send them home for a week or 2, you will just have to take the time off work to look after them. More fear porn. So he said to her, "There is more to this, and we will be looking into it. And why can't you say White's name?" So she said it's just a legal thing. Yeah, BS beside that. Absolutely, Wayne. This is a spoilt adult child. Now, I never want to offend children because it was the adults that corrupted them, and that's why they sit in the cereal aisle screaming for the box of cereal with a decoder ring. So if I ever use that reference, and this is for you, Mary, just make that clear. The children in that attitude have been corrupted by the adults, not the other way around. A child acts like a child because it's mirroring the greed of its parent. Very simple. That's a tough one for people to swallow, though. No one wants to take responsibility for that. Anyway, so, and if we have to send them home for a week or 2, you'll just have to take the time off work to look after them. Fear porn. So he said to her, "There's more to this, and we're looking into it. And why can't you say White's name?" So she said it's just a legal thing, a.k.a. I'll get my ass arrested if I do. And so he said to the officer, who he knows. Now, this guy knows this officer very well because he lives on a street. Okay, where was it? Something about why she's saying White's name. Wayne, slow down when you're typing. Anyway, so the officer says this to him. "All I know is that it is illegal to pay attention. That it is illegal to try and get someone to answer to a name." That's what judges included, guys. "That they have said is not them. That's why she can't say White's name." And then the head said, "Right, this meeting is over. I'll send you all a letter out because I've got another meeting to go to and I'm running late." Yeah, right. How about running scared? So can you all have a talk to your children when they get home? He said she could get us out of there fast enough. He said could not come around he could not come around sooner, which means he was trying to get a hold of Wayne sooner, but he couldn't. He's on nights, and then he'll be looking at Kate's stuff. That's all he told me. XOXO. Yeah, absolutely. And see, there it is in a nutshell. And it has to play out in a classroom or a school. I had quite a few discussions with the principal of my oldest daughter's public school. Quite a wonderful man, and told me on occasion that his hands were basically tied. Two different unions, and of course the teachers have one, and the principals and vices have others, and whatever. But he always loved having chats with me, and loved every time I challenged teachers for their stupidity. Racist teachings, pro-Zionist, and all the rest of it. And again, it's very subtle that they try to indoctrinate the children. It's bad enough that they rip out the imagination, and they chop you into a 2x4 from this most beautiful natural log, if you will, and regiment.
You're listening to Kate of Gaia on Critical Mass Radio. The game is up. Now, it's our turn.
Good evening. Welcome Outside the Box. It is going to be an awesome, awesome show tonight. I already know this. Pretty excited. Guys, we got Max's attention. And we finds out what we're doing. And I got to tell you, I'll get into that in a sec, but thanks for tuning to Outside the Box. This is Kate of Gaia. Mouthiest tranny on the web. Guaranteed to get your attention any way I can. And for all the right reasons. That's how important you are to get your attention. That's the point. That's the intent. Anyway, I'm hoping that a lot of people that are at the table all the time, and we do have many tens of thousands here, full board every night, pretty much. If you consider one or two dropping off here and there out of the 50, that's a full board. We can get most times. Well, that's all we can get. But anyway, listen, thanks for tuning in criticalmassradio.co.uk. The magnanimous and absolutely brilliant Max Igan will be here. I am so happy because I got to tell you, now you guys know I've been doing a lot of calling out just to get people's goats, right? You know what we're talking about when we say about getting the goats, right? Getting someone's attention units, if you will. You'd have to listen to probably quite a few shows to really catch up on the concepts, but that's okay. The point of the game is this: we have the game. It's that simple. It is crashing worldwide in so many areas. I'm watching Babylon Has Fallen. Went out in Filipino on YouTube today. I don't know how many languages we're up to now, but you guys that are doing all the translating, go team. I don't think we have French yet, and that's kind of funny because here I am in Canada and it's bilingual. Bizarre. But anyway, if anyone wants to do the French, my French isn't good enough to do it. I have passable French, but to try to get a concept across, I would probably be better off trying to write in Swahili. Anyway, where was I wanting to go here? Yeah, the point of the game is this. Lose the name, win the game. I went into great detail about the simplicity of it last night, and that is the irony of this whole thing. It is the simplicity. And while so many of us, self included, for a very long time, were attacking this from a physical position only, a lot of stuff that, in terms of concepts that were there, couldn't be seen because of that, because you get fixated in a literal physical matrix. Think of Newton. A body in motion tends to stay in motion. The physical laws and stuff. And these are the things that have ruled our minds for so very long, and we haven't been able to get outside the box. Where the simplicity of it is this is it. Lose the name, win the game. And we've had nothing but victory here. I got to tell you guys, I think we had 3 or 4 different scenarios last night. We're able to, well, this is kind of funny because I'm speechless right now. I am really excited, just the fact that Max is going to be here. Anyway, and we'll get into it. I'm going to bring Max in with me when he's ready. I'm just going to check Skype because I've seen one pop up. Anyway, when Max is ready, I'll bring him in with me. And the good news about that is I can't mute you. So, again, this is an all wide open table. But what I'm going to ask people to do while we're at the start of the show here, I'm going to go through the latest outcome with the Wayne and White Tiger thing that's going on in the UK that's taken down the school system from the inside and having cops talk about it. I'm just going to read the latest. I've got, I think for Max's benefit, I'll catch him up to speed on what's been going on. It's been quite a story. And here's a little 7-year-old, can't call her 8, she's not 8 yet, little 7-year-old Gemini Tiger that knows who she is. And I've known Wayne, her dad, for quite a while. And I know Wayne's been through the mill in terms of his own crucifixion, standing in truth, and what have you. And nothing can break him anyway. But to tempt you, control you, and try to tell you that it's fun. Hi, we're enslaving your soul because your parents gave it up with a birth certificate, and we just want to make sure that you're well programmed so that you will never resist this, so that we can feed from you for eternity. Sorry, Babylon, you're fell. The game is over. I'm good with that. So anyway, that's how it's been playing out. Pure truth. Pure absolute truth. Okay, so we'll get a few comments on that, and then everyone can jump in here and share with Max and anyone else that I've called out exactly why I did it. It's to get people to the table en masse so that they can get this very simple truth that has had nothing but victory after victory because people are finally figuring it out. Stopping servers at the gate, no foreclosures there. Stopping thefts of homes. This has happened too many times every time. Guys, we've lost count. And isn't it fun when you actually know the truth? We'll get Janet there. Your mic's open, hon. And you can all tell Max how much I love him because I do. That's why he's here. And I got to tell you, he's the only one I figured that would. That's why I've been laughing because I tell you, the only one I thought would have the balls enough to challenge me would be Max. And I love being right. And I'm so happy. We're going to have a really good chat tonight and just get this word out. And we got to power this up. And Weechi, you're in here too. But Janet, what's on your mind tonight, hon? Janet, you got that mute thing happening? Oh, must be. Are you on mute, Janet? Come on. I know there's a little time lag, so it's all good. Tell you what, looks like Richie's jumping in. Code 734, I'm not familiar. Weechi, you're in there too. Oh, there. I wasn't. Oh, it must have been Janet. There you are. 530. I'm calling for Janet, and it's like, wait a minute. I'm gonna have to get you guys.
Hi, everyone. Yeah.
Call in on Skype so I know who it is. Anyway, Janet, go ahead. Since I was calling you and you put your hand up, thank you. And then Uichi and whoever else wants to jump in here.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, and I'm so glad Max is there and everyone. And today I saw a beautiful butterfly rainbow cloud, and it was just I wish I had a camera so I could post it, but anyway, that's just like a total sign of just everything that's changing and how it is now. So that's awesome.
I posted up that bullfight thing. It comes from 2009, but you know everything is now, so you read it and you're anagogic now. Did anybody going to put this out tonight too? Because I want to share this. This is just such a profound Babylon is fallen proof. I love it. Right in the now. The Bullfights End from Stuart Wilde. Beautiful essay. Not that long. It's just he just nails it right to the wall. And of course, what are bulls and what are matadors allegorically? Well, we know what that is. Anyway, jump in here, guys.
Yeah, I'm here. Hey, what's up?
Hey, Richie, how are you?
Yeah, all right. I'm just trying to power up again. My energy, I'm like quiet. I'm quiet like the sun, Kate. You know how the sun's quiet right now. And hey, I looked at that thing on Suspicious Observers. Hey, let me get my car. I'm sitting in my car right now. I got cars going by. They're crazy. And I saw that because I didn't listen to the beginning part of the show where you had mentioned Suspicious Observers, where he said the ship is sinking and the phoenix is rising. You know, or the ship is sunken.
Yeah, well, again, Admiralty ships sunk allegorically. We go anagogic in these. Remember, when we talk about defining your reality, you redefine. Now, everyone would take that literally. Oh, the ship is sinking and the Phoenix is right. Okay, so you're caught in somebody else's spell. What I do with it and what we're doing and others, you know where the yellow brick road is you look at that and you see what it means to you. So what it means to me is, oh, look, the mind. White obviously must have asked for identification, and White leans over and says, "No names here, mate." To which the cop replied, "Excuse me." And she, using her most literal Phoenician, because she understands this, she says, "Yes, you're excused. No names here, mate." To which the cop closed up his Narmer Palette book and walked away. That's the power of a child and the power of intent and the magic of the shields that go up when you stand in truth. This is very real stuff, boys and girls. To explain it to you, well, see, until you experience it, you're still in Pisces of, well, I'm not sure I believe that. Well, here's the difference. I'm in Aquarius. I know it. And those that are now in Aquarius because they've stopped believing this or believing that and taking things subjectively, they're being objective now, and that's what makes an Aquarian. So let's continue the story here in Wayne's words. Of course, Mom was a bit shaken up and it called Wayne to set up a little chit-chat after she dropped White off. So here was where we pick up the story. And this is only the last week and a half, 2 weeks, guys. Right up to today, I'm going to read what happened. Wayne got word from one of White's friend's dads that was at the meeting that he wasn't allowed to be in. So here we go. All good with White's mom. She just got a bit frightened of what she saw her little girl do. We had a good old talk, and she's starting to get it. She said if she didn't see it for herself, she wouldn't have believed it, what White did today. She phoned me and said that she's been up all night reading all your stuff, referring to my website. And now she is getting it and was crying, saying, now I know I've got to stand, not just for my kids, but for all of the children, because what kind of mom would I be if I don't stand knowing what I know now? So she's got it. It's all good. So big thanks to you, Kat. Thank you. Again, everything on the website, I can call it my website, it's yours, is yours. If you understand the concepts, who can make a claim on the words? If you would say it the same way, aren't they your words? So how the hell can they be mine? So carrying on here. This is regarding after the Friday when the kids refused to answer to their names. This is on the Monday. So I got to the school and they all had gone into the meeting. So when we tried to go in, they wouldn't let us. So the headmistress came out and said, I did not ask you to come to this meeting. So I said, if you're having a meeting about the kids and if you're going to be talking about my child, I'm going to be there. So she said, you're making a scene. If you don't go, I will phone the police. And this is Wayne talking. So I said, I'll phone for you, if you want. So she phoned the police, and about 10 minutes later, they turn up, and just a coincidence, it was the policeman that pulled over White's mom. See? Magic, kingdom. And he's only a sergeant. And the look on his face was like, oh, shit. So a long story short, the sergeant said to the headmistress, are you going to be talking about his daughter? And the headmistress said, no, it's about the other children, not his child. So I said, this is about the kids not answering to the name. So yes, you will be talking about her. So the sergeant, that's what Wayne said to the headmistress. Again, I'll say that just to make that clear. Wayne says, so I said this this is about the kids not answering to the name. So yes, you will be talking about her. So the sergeant said to the head, right, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to leave an officer here, talking to the headmistress, remember, and if you refer to his daughter in any way, my officer will be under orders to arrest you. Then the headmistress said to him, you can't do that. So he said, well, you go and say his daughter's name in your meeting, and you will see what I can do. Now go and have your meeting, because the kids are looking out of the windows, and now you're making a scene. So she went into the meeting, and she was not happy. Go figure. And a police officer went in with her. Then the sergeant said, can I give you a ride home? I said, no, thanks, we're good. And he said to me, you do, now pay close attention here. This is these are the most subtle, absolute perfect clues to the game. When you understand this, you put the shields up immediately. Anyway, so he said to me, you do know that if the kids do not answer to the name, then they have to be sent. They have to send the child home, because then they have no rights to keep the children